your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. We are back. If you had me turned up yesterday, you might want to get me back to your normal volume because we are back in studio, ready to go. Still have plenty to talk about Vegas because, you know, I'm there. We're moving some things around. We're getting guests on the show. I'm not sure what I can and can't talk about. You know, there's other media members around. But today we're back, baby. Today we're back. I'm still not sure what I can and cannot talk about. I have stories. So this is our situation right now. I am telling Kyle Ledbetter, our fearless producer, telling Kyle Ledbetter some of the stories, and he is either green lighting them, yellow lighting them, or red lighting them. So once we get through that, then we can, you know, maybe modify them a little bit to be able to share with the good people, all of our listeners.
See, this is the problem though, because I am a bit of an anarchist. So in my mind, I'm hearing it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine. You should just go for it. No, just do it.
Let's not get fired. Let's not get fired because we learned so much from Vegas, and it was such a great time out there. Shout out to Chris Watkins and Brendan Nunez, who are still out there. Frank Cardicelli is back doing his lead editor stuff. And, you know, as a crew, I think that we all made it happen and got a lot of good information out there for you, and we continue to do so. So be sure to follow our YouTube. We are posting new stuff on that channel every single day. Our Twitter X page as well. And look, pretty soon we're going to, if there's one thing that I'm working on, we're going to get a dang TikTok. Okay, because that's what the kids need. Because I would have been going crazy on TikTok. We still did. We still had a good amount of information that we put out, a good amount of content. So here's the backstory on. If you saw my clip, there was a clip where we ran into. I think it was the first one was the Summer Cup. Right, the championship, which the Sacramento Kings tend to win quite often. So it started off as just me messing around. Hey, let's take a video with me basically saying, hey, bring it home. This is ours. This is our time to shine. Next thing you know, all of the trophies were kind of along the concourse. So that's how that video of me talking and saying the same exact thing with each trophy came up. When we got to the Larry O'Brien, obviously there are not security guards, but they work for the NBA, and they're right next to all the trophies, of course. So this young lady, we chatted for a bit. She's intern, goes to LSU, and we were sitting there about to do we just did the Larry O'Brien one when I'm saying, it's time to come home. Bring Larry home. Bring Larry home. And she is laughing. She's laughing. I mean, you know, bring him home to Sacramento. She's laughing. And once we stopped recording, I believe I think it was either Brendan or Frankie guys, hey, what's so funny? She said, when's the last time y'all won a trophy? And of course, Frankie immediately goes with the 1951, but she's out here roasting us, man. I'm like, this is not your job. Your job just to protect Larry O'Brien. Just let us do our thing. The commentary.
See, I don't know. I feel like if your grandfather was not born the last time your team won a championship, I feel like it's fair game.
No, it was definitely fair game. And look, like I said, she's at LSU. She's got no clue what anything prior to Sacramento was for the Kings. So she got us. She got us good. And it was a fun time just getting a lot of stuff out there for everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to do it again next season. But the Kings are still out there, man. And Scott Perry is still out there. Scott Perry is doing his thing. We know we finish the show, every single show that we have with the Don't Forget About My podcast. But Scott Perry is really good at this media thing.
Don't forget my podcast.
Really good at this media thing. So it's nice to see him in front of the camera, getting the Sacramento name out there. Because if you listen to the broadcast, and the Kings moved to 3-0 in the Summer League, if you listen to the broadcast, you know, they're kind of gushing over the Sacramento Kings. And what I heard yesterday, which was interesting, right, was every kind of team goes into Summer League with different plans, right? Some want to kind of start to build a culture. Some just want to see kind of the young guys and what they have. And it's very clear and it's very apparent that the Kings are on their grown man stuff. That's what it is, right? You got 23-year-olds, you got 24-year-olds, you got 29-year-olds. They're on their grown man stuff, right? They're not here to just play AAU basketball and let's see what we got. Scott Perry is trying to build because ... he thinks that these guys are going to be dudes that the team will need throughout the season. So we'll probably fall. I'm going to be honest. We'll probably fall within a happy medium of the full blow up, if you will, and getting to see the young guys play. No, we're not going to see Domantas Sabonis and the kids. Like, we're not going to see that. But maybe we don't see DeMar DeRozan playing 42 minutes a game. Maybe we don't see that. Zach LaVine, I know the money, you want to make sure it feels worth it, but maybe we don't see DeMar DeRozan playing 40 minutes a game. It's just not necessary. Maybe we can live in a world where, hey, DeMar DeRozan, go to the bench. Hey, we're not going to do that, but if a Nique Clifford or somebody like that is showing up in a certain way, hey, DeMar might come in at the very end of the game. You know, if it's a closing situation, maybe if it's not a closing situation and the Kings just want lockdown defense, maybe DeMar doesn't come in. And that, hey, man, we're trying to win games. You know, you say you want to win games as of right now. That's going to have to be in Sacramento as of right now. ... It's going to have to be in Sacramento. So let's win these basketball games. We can't have egos, right? If you're going to have an ego, then have an ego on defense. Why is it that so many of these players, they don't have an ego on defense? They just got an ego on offense. And I'm not saying that about DeMar DeRozan. I'm just saying at this stage, we kind of know what it is with him defensively. So if you have a Nique Clifford or whoever it may be locking down the other team and the Kings are up 10 with 3 minutes left to go, and you still have somebody you're paying close to $50 million out there in Zach LaVine, and you still have somebody else you're paying in the 40s in Domantas Sabonis, and you move on from that, you have to be able to close that game. So, hey, DeMar, this is not really, and they did it, and I would say this, we saw it not on a full scale, but there were times where when Trey Lyles got going a little bit, when certain guys that were maybe adjacent to DeMar's position, that 4, because the Kings just don't really have one, that 3-4, whatever that position was that DeMar was playing for the day, there would be days where I'm thinking, man, when's DeMar going to go back in? And eventually he did, but we might see more of that. And that's not a slight on DeMar. That just goes to the balance conversation. So maybe we can live in a world where it's not, people, and I'm listening to the Drive guys yesterday, and they're reading off Dave's tweet about not blowing it up, but Domantas Sabonis and everybody else running. And, obviously there was a little bit of disagreement there with the different shows that we have, which is good for the station. I will say we're all not supposed to agree, because when, you're driving around your car and it's the same thing for what? Each 4-hour show, that's not good either. So I think disagreement is healthy. Disagreement is good. Disagreement is how we're not here carrying anybody else's water, right? Other places you might listen to, it all sounds the same. This ain't Drumline, one band, one sound. No, there should be different sounds at a station. It's good at a network, right? Because that's just what it is. When Chris Watkins comes on, when Brendan Nunes comes on, when Frankie Cardicelli comes on, we're not supposed to agree.
We bring the boom. That's what we do.
At least not on purpose, right? We're not supposed to have these conversations. Kyle and I, we're about to argue about the blowing it up thing anyway. That's coming up at 11. By the way, Eric Martin's coming up at 11 o'clock too. So, because Brent Rooker, he got robbed. Brent Rooker would have won the whole thing. That's how my math works.
Less than an inch.
That's how, and Brent Rooker came out, and of course it's against Cal Raleigh, and shout out Cal Raleigh, Seattle, another smaller, they got a football team, but smaller market, and everybody's talking about the Mariners now. This always happens with the Mariners. Like, where's Julio Rodriguez? But that's a conversation for a different day. So a lot coming up on the show, and when we like I said, when we discuss what to do with the Kings. I just think that there is a happy medium type of world. And as much as I would love to see the kids just run around and play like it's a beautiful park in Natomas in the toe, I understand that's not realistic. And we've kind of discussed whether or not it should be banned or not, just the conversations. I saw another one last night because obviously the Kings were winning. Hey, we should be running the 5 young guys. It's just not going to happen. So I don't want to waste anybody's time, whether we agree or disagree about something that's not going to happen. Besides, when Kyle and I talk about it today and give our reasonings for both sides. So I just feel like this is going to move in a more balanced direction, or the Kings are going to stink. If it doesn't move in a more balanced direction when you're getting more defensive intensity, which is what Scott Perry keeps telling us that he wants, then the Kings probably won't be very good, because that is where the league is trending. The league is trending in the direction of defense and quick decisions, 0.5 decisions. That's what Isaac Jones said that they've been discussing as well. That's where it's going. So this isn't the time to kind of buck the trend. And if you are going to buck the trend, you better buck it in a way where the talent is just so ridiculous it doesn't matter. If you're not going to have defenders out there, then you better be putting up 140 a night. And that's not what the Kings are doing. That's where we're at right now. So, just all the back and forth with who should start, who shouldn't start, and where the Kings should go. I don't feel any differently about what the Kings are attempting to build, right? And again, that's the 38.5. Actually, we looked it up when we were in Vegas. It dropped. Brendan saw he found it at 36.5. I mean, that's terrible. That is so sad. It's just sad.
Well, these things are going to correct themselves as the summer goes along, because the trends of what people believe in or won't believe in is going to drive it up or down, right? So if everyone all of a sudden believes the Lakers are now a championship contender, right, and they're just believing the Lakers are going to win, someone else is going to have to go down because there's only but so many wins available. So Portland was still at like 32.5, and I'm like, I feel like Portland and Sacramento might switch places the closer we get to the start of the season.
Yeah, that's a good point. Obviously, this, there's only so many wins out there. So if somebody's saying, actually, I like what someone is doing, or if another move gets made, so this thing can still fluctuate. I'm just saying when we were asking people, so we have a bunch of content coming out where we were talking to Kings fans along the concourse. I ran into, shout out Chris. I ran not Chris Watkins, a different Chris. He was featured on what we're going to put out there, and then we ended up being on the same flight. So we had a nice conversation, but met a lot of Kings fans, and we were telling them, hey, 38.5 over under. Of course, nobody said under because they're Kings fans, but then Brendan looked it up and he said, I'm actually seeing 37.5 and 36.5. And I said, well, it was 38.5 on earlier this week, Brendan. I don't know what to tell you.
So by September, it's going to be what, 20.5 at this pace?
Oh my goodness. Just hammer the over. You got to. You literally have to.
Well, or you don't have to.
No, you have to.
Let's be responsible.
If you're
here.
a Kings fan, you have to.
Let's be responsible, Allen.
If you are a true Kings fan, you have to. Plenty of Kings talk coming up, of course, but just what's coming out around the league. Tim McMahon, he was very visible of ESPN. Saw him walking around. He just put out an article, and it's talking about the rumblings that he had heard. Lauri Markkanen, you talk about not saying uncle. The Utah Jazz are the ultimate not saying, they will pass out. You know what I mean? In a movie, when someone's in a headlock, or they're trained, it's an MMA type of fighting movie, and the main character is learning how to fight, gets into a headlock, and his mentor is saying, just, tap out, and he doesn't want to, then he finally does at the end. That's the Utah Jazz with Lauri Markkanen. Now there are reports that we're still not trading Lauri Markkanen, even though we have absolutely no direction, and he's 28 years old.
Even though nobody wants him now, because his contract is so bloated.
So now we're going to flip it and say, no, we want to pay him, or we want to keep him.
Danny Ainge may go down with the ship in Utah, but he's going to go down protecting Larry Markkinen and his 8,000 second-round picks.
That's right.
Just, you can't anything else you can have. Jordan Clarkson, we don't care. John Collins, we don't care. We'll give you one of the young guys, but you're not taking his 8,000 second-round picks or Larry Markkinen for some reason.
That's it. So that came out. There's also some news on Josh Giddey, and that connects to the Kings because it connects to Jonathan Kuminga. If this sign and trade thing is going to happen, Kobe White, follow me now, Kobe White has that perfect $12.5 million that the Warriors could obviously accept. I think Kobe White has a decent amount of value, and maybe the Warriors might have to give Kuminga a pick or something like that, but money-wise, it works. If the Bulls get into a situation where Josh Giddey and them just aren't really seeing eye to eye, like I said yesterday on the show, Kobe White might be staying put. So that could be another, and they might, extend him because his contract is expiring. That might be another destination for Jonathan Kuminga that gets crossed off, at least for now. And if that is the case, then not to say that the initial deal with the Kings looks as good or looks better, but it's another team that we're not sure. At first, we thought they were interested in Kuminga, and now they may not be. So the Kings might be able to slide in somewhere there. So we'll break down what Tim, and it's not just Tim McMahon, it's kind of the ESPN crew, everybody that's out there. And I talked to a couple of them. So that was a lot of fun too. We'll break down that for you. Juwan Jennings says, I'm like that, so pay me. And that came out yesterday. Adam Schefter, people are trying to roast. Juwan Jennings might be the most confusing receiver, and this is just what San Francisco does because of that system. Sometimes he could be the number one. Sometimes he's the number three. I will say this. I'm closer to number one than number four. If you're asking me, somebody said, how can a number four wide receiver have contract demands? I think they were being a little bit facetious. It was a pretty prominent name in Niners media, but let's not mess around here. Like right now, based on what he did last season, and you could call it prisoner of the moment, that's fine. The way I would ask it is, I know Brandon Ayuk is an outstanding route runner, so I would give him that. But is Brandon Ayuk better than Juwan Jennings? And if so, by how much? Because
yes.
I don't know if it is if he is, it ain't by a lot.
It's tough because of the injury. Like, I don't want to wipe out the fact that Brandon Ayuk was an excellent receiver in 2023, and Juwan Jennings put up almost 1,000 yards. I think it was like 970 yards on a bad team.
Well, he got ejected, and I think that's what kept him from he would have got it. I'm fairly sure.
Yes, he was right there to getting to 1,000, but we'll talk about it a little bit later. But Matt Mayoko kind of did a good breakdown of what his market kind of looks like right now. And the name he kind of brings up is one, I think an agent mentioned this, is like, look at what Jacoby Myers got with the Raiders and kind of his role in what he does there. And that will kind of tell you what Juwan Jennings is on the open market in the NFL, which is like that. Sometimes can play the slot, sometimes play the X, 1,000-yard, number 2 receiver on a team with a really good tight end. He's going to get paid at some point. It just might not be from the Niners.
Yeah, and if not, I think he could be a good number 2 for somebody. And the Niners are in a tough spot simply because they don't really know what they have, right? And that was the whole issue with this Ricky Pearsall thing. Obviously, we know what happened with the shooting incident, and that was awful. But prior to that, when they drafted Ricky Pearsall, even with Debo being moved, now you just have a question of, I guess, priorities in the sense of, I guess, pecking order is the right decision or the right word, because I don't know. I know you have 4 receivers, but what's the order? We'll put Brandon Ayuk there by default, but after that, I mean, to me, there's no reason Juwan Jennings shouldn't get paid like a number 2.
I mean, it's weird because it's a number 2 on a team where their number 1 is a tight end, right?
Yeah.
Their best.
That's not his problem.
Yeah, exactly. It's just hard to gauge the market. I mean, contract or no contract, Juwan Jennings is going to be dramatically underpaid this season. And the reason that's the case is because he was an undrafted guy, so he had to go through restricted free agency, and so it was limited in what he could actually get because someone would have had to match it. And he has a $1.17 million base salary this year, and he can get incentives for like playing snaps and receptions and touchdowns, but even that, he's not going to make more than $4 million this year, which regardless of what he'll end up getting on a contract extension, he's going to be dramatically underpaid this season for the 49ers if he is that wide receiver too.
916-339-1140. Obviously getting into a bunch of Kings talk. When is the last time you were this excited about the young Kings? When is the last time you were this excited about the young Kings? Was it simply the Keegan Murray season? When Keegan Murray won summer, because Frankie was telling me that summer league when Keegan won MVP and was cooking against Paolo Banchero, Frankie was telling me the Keegan Murray hype was insane, just completely insane. And I believe it. Even in the Bay, like, okay, what's going on? You know, they got the young shooter out there in Keegan Murray, and maybe that is why when people look at Keegan Murray now, the lens is a bit messed up because you feel, man, I mean, how did we go? And maybe that's a good reason to kind of cool our expectations from what we're seeing from Nique Clifford as well. Obviously, you have a top 5 pick in Keegan Murray versus a end of the first round in Nique Clifford. But with Maxime right now, I'm scrolling. I see Nique Clifford's grandmother is on Twitter responding to stuff. So just feels like the vibes right now are really good with the Kings. Now you just have to kind of formulate that. And Scott Perry, if anybody's going to be able to do a good job of kind of formulating a narrative to give to the media and to give to fans, I feel like it is Brandon Ayuk. I was reading a text. I feel like it is Scott Perry. And now I'm wondering, Scott Perry, because he's doing all of these kind of hits, when is the next time we will hear from Scott Perry, just as from a kind of general standpoint, unless another move is made? They already introduced Dennis, and even in those situations, Dennis Schroeder, you're not going to be able to ask him that much. So a couple months ago when Scott Perry got hired, I said, we just need to know what the plan is. So as much as I can gush about Scott Perry and the young guys, I do feel as if they need to make that clear to the fan base. And look, we don't, hosts at Sacktown Sports 1140 don't have to argue about everything or anything really. If we knew, we can argue about whether we like the plan or not. But right now, there is a lot of, we're not sure, we're still not really sure what the Kings are trying to get out of this season. I know that they would obviously like to get into the playoffs, but I'll tell you this, if I am in that presser, because a lot of times these pressers are during my time slot. If I am in the media room, and I put this on everything. If I'm in that media room and the opportunity presents itself where there is a question about, 2 options, the sustainable success, I will ask, can you elaborate on what that means? Because the base of it is the Kings had their winningest seasons in the last 20 years, the last 3 years, right? And everybody responsible for that is gone. So what is the definition of sustainable success? Because he says it in almost every presser. So I will ask that. And or if something comes up about making the playoffs, which it hasn't yet because of the sustainable success, but if something comes up about making the playoffs, I will basically discuss what I won't reference Boogie Cousins. But as far as, hey, last time the Kings got to the playoffs, it looked like they were just selling their souls to get to one playoffs. How do you feel like this group is more set up to be in the playoffs time and time again? Because that's been the issue here. When you're ceiling, like I've talked about last week, when your ceiling is getting to the second round. That's the problem. When we return, we will hear from Scott Perry, and he's still saying he doesn't want prisoners. Allen Stiles, Second Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Welcome to your Tuesday. Getting out the door and feeling that Delta breeze. Nice and cool stretch for the morning. As we get into the afternoon, it's going to be noticeably cooler today. Highs expected in the upper 80s to low 90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. Whether you purchase a new Honda or a like-new pre-owned Honda, Elk Grove Honda has the right Honda at the right price. In the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard, or elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia. I got a tour of their headquarters. I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Avery-Anna. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo.
Sponsored by Tricks Racing Canes, Chicken Fingers, and Naturewood Home Furnishings. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Payoff via virtual prepaid card below 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
People are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, from Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville, because they've seen for themselves the huge selection and the best prices at SacSuperstore.com. Good luck finding a lower price anywhere else. And if you do, they'll match it. It's as simple as that. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where a handshake still means something. Open until 10 o'clock and centrally located right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. And online at SacSuperstore.com. The guaranteed lowest price and the best selection of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeeps, and Rams. SacSuperstore.com.
At Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics, we're all about summer smiles. During July, we're having our Summer Smiles special with $300 off braces or Invisalign with no money down if you start treatment in July. And you'll have a chance to win Legoland tickets. Go to kidscaredental.com for more information.
The San Francisco Giants are grown here, right here with the Sacramento River Cats. Catch the future stars of Giants Black and Orange at Sutter Health Park. Don't miss the action. Get your tickets now at rivercats.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Already got some texts coming in. Hey, Alan, and 916-329-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Hey, Alan, just letting you know I'm talking bleep to all the haters when the Kings win 48 plus, the plus sign after it, 48 or more games when you least expected that they win. Look at the... Yeah, we get it because, okay. Hey, if they do that, 916, we could even add a, and yeah, it's not that I didn't want to read it. I've told you guys before, sometimes the text line breaks stuff up. But we get the point. 48, all I need to see is 48 or more. That's all I need to see. So you can, look, 916, if the Kings win 48 or more games, you can call in. You can talk for as long as you want. Just don't cuss. But if the Kings win 48 games, call into the show. I'll damn near give you a segment. I just go.
Be careful. The last time they did that on I think it was the Drive guys, they said if the Niners missed the playoffs this last year that they would give someone a segment.
See, but that could happen. That anything can happen in football. 48, so we're talking, I'll still stick with the 38. So the Kings are going to win at least 10 more games than what Vegas says.
I mean, there's always one of those teams every year.
There is.
We did the exercise.
There is. So 916, you know who you are on the text line. You call in, and we'll give you as much runway as you want. We can't give you a full segment, but as much runway as you want. You can talk bleep to all the haters. You can talk bleep to me, and I'll wear it. Again, sure, that'd be great. But again, this goes back to the conversation of, okay, cool, now what, right? They won 48 games. They lost in the second round. And the 916 was right, and Vegas was wrong. Now what? Everything shouldn't go right for you to lose in the second round. That's a bad, in my opinion, I'm not saying bad roster construction, but it's kind of a bad thought process. Hey, all this stuff, we proved everybody wrong and lost in the second round, right? What are you building on? The Bean team there was less of an argument. You had a young De'Aaron Fox. You had a DeMontis Sabonis in his prime, a young Keegan Murray. Oh, maybe they would just grow and everybody would be good again or as good again that next season, my first season out here in Sacramento. That one feels less egregious than, let's say the Kings go to the second round this season. What the hell do you do next? Just hope that because again, in order for them to do that, they all would have had to have outstanding seasons. Nique Clifford is probably all NBA, all rookie team.
Yes, there we go.
All rookie team, all of this stuff.
I think those are good problems to have, though, right? Is if everything goes well and they get to the first round and they're competitive in a first round series, then good. We can talk extension for Sabonis. We can talk about maybe trading for another player. We talked about that free agent class.
That would be the argument. But again, okay, just did it. Based on just what you saw, are you all right? Now DeMar is no longer guaranteed, so DeMar is where we're gonna upgrade. I understand what you're saying. This still means that other moves have to be made either way. But okay, now we have to upgrade from DeMar. Zach LaVine still has one more year on his deal. You're still not. It's just that's what it comes down to. What is the actual goal?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, if they get back to the playoffs, I think you can convince a rational fan that this thing has a chance, because their path to getting back to the playoffs is through Domantas Sabonis being excellent and Zach LaVine playing at some sort of level to where he was at his best in Chicago, right? They go most NBA teams go as far as their two best players. You were talking about that with people in Vegas. It's like, people have tried this before and it hasn't worked, but good on Sacramento for trying to make it work too.
Yeah.
In most cases, you go as far as your two best players. And so if they're to go on a run this year, it's going to be because of Sabonis and Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
So if both of them are excellent, then those are good problems to have, because you have those two foundations. Maybe you feel comfortable giving LaVine the 3-year extension if he opts out of the $47 million, and that gives you some room to play with. You know, there's all sorts of scenarios that could happen if they are good.
It's a good point. It's a good point, because that would mean, hey, we'll talk about it a little bit more, but I spoke with a kind of a cap expert who he works in an agency. So he makes sure, hey, this player is getting paid this amount of money, or we're asking for this amount of money, and we know that this is only going to affect the cap in this way because we have a cap person that is making sure that the team can't say, well, it's actually going to affect us like this. So it's just all part of the negotiation. And some of the Zach LaVine conversations that we were having, like I said, we'll break it down in more detail later in the show, but it was mostly about, hey, they took a big swing on LaVine. So if this stuff goes right, funny enough, a lot of those that were a part of the guys, the Zach LaVine, the DeMar DeRozan, they're no longer here, but it's a collaborative effort, if you will. And if things do go right, you could say, hey, look, yeah, we lost in the second round, but you can't have it both ways, right? You can't bag on Sacramento for having no success, but then bag on Sacramento because they lost in the first round, the second round of the playoffs. Everything is relative. The Sacramento Kings do not have the same expectations as the Knicks, as the Lakers, as the Celtics. They just don't, year in and year out. And that's okay, right? It's something that is really hard to kind of talk about if you're a part of the Kings, because nobody wants to hear that, especially when you're raising prices. But that's the reality. So the sustainable success, and that's why I kind of want some answers on what that means. Because yeah, maybe if you, to your point, Kyle, every year they're around it, and what we compared them to the Pacers, and the Pacers went to the finals, but it's the Eastern Conference. Every year, hey, we're 4-6. We're exciting. Yeah, we moved on from DeMar, and now because we're kind of building something, now we upgrade there. And a couple years later, Zach LaVine's now off the books. Maybe we go get somebody because of Scott Perry's connections, or maybe Keegan is ready to go and took a leap. So I do hear what you're saying, and it's a good point. A lot of things just have to go right.
Yeah, and one way or another, whether they beat the win total by 10 games or fall behind the win total by 10 games, next spring and next summer is going to be the time where they are going to pick a direction for the next 3 years, right? One way or another, the direction that they will choose to go for 27, 28, and 29 is going to have to be decided in 2026. This is the year to prove that this group deserves another year together, or deserves reinvestment, potentially in a veteran, or as we talked about yesterday, a very deep 2026 free agent class potentially.
Right. And that is why you got to stay away. This play-in thing I just can't stand it, because I think if they went to the second round and Texans are saying, Allen, we love the second round, and that's how kind of Vivek is reacting. Look, we're just trying to get there, man. We'll figure it out once we do. But these fans, a lot of people get on Vivek for just wanting the playoff revenue. Look, it's called playoff revenue, but I do think there are a lot of fans that just want to have a playoff run. I think there are a lot of fans that would say, look, I don't think we're going to win a championship anyway. So I'd rather go to the playoffs once every 4 or 5 years and just have some fun with it, and maybe we get hot. I do think a lot of fans feel like that. Some fans, that are more pro developing young talent, they want to believe that, no, we want to build that kind of where we're there every single year. We don't need a bunch of things to go right. And I've always said that we understand what this season is, right? The question has always been, well, what happens if they are an 8 seed, they get, they're messing around in the first round, lose the first round, and that gets sold as that sustainable success. I would disagree with that sentiment. Let's keep the conversation going. We still have Scott Perry's sound to play as well when we return. Down south, Sacktown Sports.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents it's local, but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Honda Summer Event and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. See all our specials at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop. If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hobbit, a Hobbit Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening for the Hobbit Employee Pricing Plus sales event?
Right now, you can get the family wherever you need to get them. When you save up to $17,000 off MSRP on the new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xEs. With the gas tax having gone up this month, that means you save even more at the pump with one of America's favorite hybrids.
What's happening at the Giant Hobbit Certified Pre-Owned Super Center?
Well, not only is Hobbit your one-stop shop for new Ram trucks, we are your pre-owned truck superstore. Right now, we have over 100 quality pre-owned trucks in stock. So whatever truck you're looking for, your perfect ride is waiting at Hoblet. Diesels, lifted trucks, 4x4s, Hemis, heavy duties. We have them all waiting for you.
Search, select, and save through our whole inventory, new and used, at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period. $17,000 total net savings after $7,500 factory rebates and $9,500 dealer discounts. Rebates may include $2,500 2025 select inventory bonus cash, $500 first responder bonus cash for eligible first responders. Employee pricing for all included in dealer discount. VIN number 712678. See dealer for details.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Tune into Sacktown Sports this week for live coverage of the 153rd Open Championship from Royal Portrush. Brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Live and local
It's Allen Stiles.
on Sacktown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. And we'll be joined by Coach Eric Martins at 11, 916-339-1140. Let's get to Sam, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Sam? What you got for us?
Hey, good morning. Well, I think that, throughout the years, from Jimmer to Buddy Hield to all the King shooters, everybody always said about the Kings, man, they've got nice offensive shooters. Man, those guys can knock down threes when they're hot, on and on and on. They said, but the real problem with the Kings, their defense stinks. Absolutely stinks.
Yeah.
I think that, to me, that's too harsh of a word. I don't think it totally stinks to argue with my buddy all the time because he keeps harping on defense and I'm trying to defend the offense. So what I'd like to see if you could do is take the 12 to 15 players that are currently on the Kings roster and grade them for defense, A, B, C, or D.
Right.
And what I'm trying to get at is that I'm not sure where they fit defensively in the NBA, but I'm sure that if they improve their defense, Devin Carter style, I'm not saying him, but that's the style you need, then I think you're going to accomplish a goal that you're looking for. But if you don't do that, I think we're going to be the same spot we are all the time.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Sam. That's great stuff. I mean, between that's the thing, right? We'll see with Nique Clifford defensively, but between the young guys and the rookies with Nique, Devin Carter, Keon, two of the Devin Carter and Keon Ellis, we know can defend their butts off. We know that for a fact. The issue is, and you have Keegan Murray, who I think is a good defender. I think he gets talked about as if he's a great defender in Sacramento because you look around and he's kind of the tallest, he's taller than a bunch of first graders, if you will. But I do think that Keegan Murray is a good defender. So those three guys right there, you know what you got. Then you throw in Nique, and Nique, we got to see him at the NBA level, but we know that's kind of on his profile. The issue is the lack of defense at the really the bigger positions, right? At the center position, you're missing defense. You got Drew Eubanks, so some of that money isn't even guaranteed. I was reading.
Even your starting four is kind of a 3 in Keegan Murray.
Exactly. So the issue, I would even say that the issue at this point is not even the guard defense. It's when you get to the part of it is, having Zach LaVine in there, but you have good defenders on the team. It's still the balance thing. And that's why, I kind of kicked off the show by saying maybe the way to do this isn't we're sitting somebody or we're sitting, or DeMar's coming off the bench, but maybe it's, hey, we're going to do whatever it takes to win. And, salaries can go to where. Maybe Doug approaches it that way. And yeah, we're going to start the guys because salaries do matter. Don't get me wrong. But a game by game basis, if Zach LaVine is a brick and also can't defend and Nique Clifford is hot, I'm trying to win that basketball game. When you decided to bring Doug Christie in, that's what we thought. There were some questions about Mike Brown and how much of this was from upper management and ownership as far as who was playing, who wasn't playing. Was it all Mike Brown? I don't know. But you bring in Doug Christie's telling you, you brought me in to win a basketball game. So I'm going to coach the best way I know how. You can leave your egos at the door. Or like I said earlier, have an ego on defense. How about that? So there is a world where this roster, it's starting to get balanced. Will it play in a balanced manner? If DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine are logging 39, 40, 41, 42 minutes a night, then that balance is probably not there unless they're just winning games and it doesn't matter. But that balance is not going to be, it can't be. There's only so many minutes on the floor. And those two guys being negatives on the defensive end is a problem.
Well, it's not just being negatives, it's being very bad defenders, right? Like Malik Monk is a net negative defender, but at least he can guard people and gives effort guarding people.
Yeah.
Like DeRozan, they had to hide him a bunch last year, and then they tried to put him on 4s, and he just got absolutely obliterated.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine, if you look at the D LeBron rankings, all the nerd stats, I got to hit myself with the button real quick. Nerds. If you look at that, he's one of the worst defenders at his position in the league. And Dennis Schroeder is historically has been a below average defender, even though in spurts he can be a plus defender. So you've got 4 guys right there that are net negative. Sabonis is at his position is about middle of the road. I mean, centers are usually the best defenders in the league, and Sabonis is a plus defender, but kind of in the middle or I guess below average when it comes to centers. So you've got 5 key players right there that are not elite defenders. It's hard to make up for that. This was the thing the Knicks ran into in the playoffs last year. You can't have 2 out of your 5 players on the floor be traffic cones on defense and compete deep into the playoffs.
No, you just can't. And if you are going to have that, then they better be at the top of the league in scoring.
Yeah, it better be Jalen Brunson.
Right. That's the only way this thing works. This is what I said. You better be putting up 140. But that's not what Scott Perry wants. So the reason I don't think we'll be seeing, or we shouldn't be seeing 40 plus minutes a night for Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan is because that's not what I'm getting from Scott Perry. What I'm getting from Scott Perry is we need to be balanced. We need to move the basketball. We need to defend at a high level. And there's only so much that Scott Perry can do in one off season. But what we can see as far as his vision is concerned is, hey, I'm trying to bring us to a place where there are at least the opposite of what it is now, where there are at least 2 guys on the floor that are dogs defensively. But he's not going to be able to do it in a year, which is why I have no problem with what they're doing. Right? My problem was maybe 3 years for Dennis Schroeder was a little long, and maybe $15 million is a little much. But it's the 2-year whatever it is. You might not have him for 2 years anyway. It's a fairly tradable contract, so that's fine. But I don't think anybody thought that he was going to come in and just say, yes, Sabonis is gone. You have DeRozan gone, LaVine. We're just going to give them away and run with the young guys, because he had to use this time to see what the young guys can do. If Nique is really about that life, and if Maxime seemed to be about that life as well and shows flashes, yeah, now Scott Perry can say, all right, we lost in the first round. Does it feel like maybe the argument is, Kyle, as you said, hey, well, if they go to the second round, then they can tweak a little bit. Or Scott Perry says, I think that's the best that this group is going to do. I don't think moving DeMar DeRozan for Cam Johnson or whoever is going to help beat the Oklahoma City Thunder or keep us in the running for a longer period of time. I think now is where we reset. Maybe he says that. I don't know. But those are decisions that he would make. Now, if they win if they get to the first round, but it was DeMar DeRozan 40 minutes a night, Zach LaVine 40 minutes a night, the young guys didn't really seem to be who we thought they'd be in year one, then yeah, maybe Scott Perry says, okay, we'll just run it. We'll tweak, because I don't trust the young guys enough per se in order to give them the keys. So all of that stuff remains to be seen. And I truly don't think Scott Perry knows what he's going to do because we have to get through this season first and at least play a preseason game. Are they going to win a preseason game? That's a real question. So a lot remains to be seen here, but I do think there is a lot more optionality than sometimes I even realize when we're talking and breaking these things down. Eric Martin joins us on the other side to talk some A's baseball. And Brent Rooker, somebody on the text line, what happened to Brent Rooker? Let's see what Coach has to say. Allen Stiles Show on Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal. You should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests, Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo.
Sponsored by Trex Racing Canes, Chicken Fingers, and Naturewood Home Furnishings. Tickets at catpfest.com.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Summer's flying by, and that back-to-school checklist, it's growing fast. New backpack? Check. School supplies? Check. Dentist appointment? Let's fix that. Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics is making it easy to cross dental checkups off your summer list fast with priority scheduling for new patients and kid-friendly care that makes them smile. It's one less thing to worry about before fall. Call now or book online at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com because healthy smiles should be the easiest thing to check off your summer list.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Need a new water heater? Call Bell Brothers. Need drain or sewer work? Call Bell Brothers. Need a free plumbing estimate? Call Bell Brothers. We don't guess at plumbing and drain problems. We use advanced camera inspections and diagnostics to identify the issues. We're fast, reliable, and respect your time by showing up when we say we will. Our technicians are all background checked, drug tested, and will leave the work area cleaner than they found it. The price we quote is the price you pay. We are the No Surprise guys, with more technicians, more trucks, and more experience. We get the job done right the first time. No surprises. Don't wait. Call Bell Brothers today for a free plumbing estimate or book online at nosurpriseguys.com. That's nosurpriseguys.com.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by Malik. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and vocal.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
taking you up to 2 p.m. And we have 1 hour down, 3 more to go. Joined by our guy, Coach Martins, Eric Martins, third base coach for the Athletics. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if it's considered a vacation, but you're on your All-Star break, so we appreciate you taking the time.
You got it. You got it. It's good to be home for a little bit. So
what do you do during your All-Star break? You just kind of reset, or you go back to SoCal? Do you stay in Sacramento? How do you normally approach the All-Star break?
I'm down back in SoCal. Just taking some time away, see my mom, see some friends, and just reset, man. Just get away, get in the ocean a little bit, see a little water, and just relax, man. It's grindy, and I can feel it. My body knows when I don't have to do anything for a few days. It tends to break down, and my mind gets to just shut off for a little bit. So it's good.
Hey, well, you deserve it, and you know what? Brent Rooker deserved to win that home run derby. I don't know if you caught it or not, Coach, but the distance, the 0.8, whatever it is, Brent got out there and said, that would have been nice to know, right? I mean, these measurements, I want to recount, Coach. How cool was it to see Brent out there, even if he got robbed?
It's awesome, man. I mean, it's to have him represent the A's and what he's done over the years and be able to go out there and put on a show. He definitely made some people open their eyes that didn't know Brett Rooker or the A's, as a matter of fact. You know what I mean? It's a cool event, man. I got to throw to Matt Olson in 2021 at Coors Field, and so it's pretty stressful. It's not as easy as it looks, just getting in there and just swinging and hitting the homers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on the hitter, a lot of pressure on the thrower. You're taking a lot of swings. You need to know when to use your timeout. So, he practiced a couple days before, and he looked good, man. And for him to not be able to advance because of that little distance, that's a travesty, man.
It is. Maybe he'll get a chance to redo it next season if he keeps hitting homers like this. But before we get to next season, we got the second half of this season, Coach, talking to Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the Athletics. What's the focus for the team heading into the second half?
It's just continuing playing good baseball. We won 2 series heading into the break, which was good against and beating Toronto, which was the hottest team in baseball. So, it's just going about and focusing on the things that we know we can do and get better at the little things that we need to get better at, right? We know we can beat any team at any given time, but we have to play sound baseball. We have to play good defense. We have to hit situational hit, and definitely have to pitch. And so that's just been the focus, is just playing better. Look, if you take away that terrible stretch we had in that 20 of 21, we're in the thick of things right now. And
Right.
It sucks, right? You look back at it and you look, I mean, even if it's just 10 games or 8 games or something like that, it's a different picture and it's a different conversation, So I know that stings, but we learned a lot from that time, and now we just got to focus on playing good baseball the rest of the way and gaining momentum into the next year, and then see what happens.
Coach, and this one always kind of sneaks up on people because it used to be during the College World Series, which I always thought was really cool. These guys are playing in the College World Series and they get drafted while it's happening. Obviously, you're in the thick of the season, but from your perspective, do you guys keep an eye at all at, who did we take in the draft, and kind of do any type of, cool, it looks like we might have a dude. I mean, look, with the A's, they might be up next year, so you probably should pay attention a little bit. What'd you think the draft going on and who the A's were able to pick up?
Yeah, I mean, it's different for me because I sat in those draft rooms before I coached. So it's always exciting when you get up there and you're excited about making picks, and hopefully it's one of your guys that you spent a lot of time watching and evaluating. So, I mean, we're always invested anyway, as the organization, as the team. We were excited to, have our scouts up a few days before the draft and talking to them and getting to pick their brain of who they think might get to us and what players we wanted. And I think it looks like, from what I hear, is we got a steal in the pitcher that we got with our first pick. So, which is awesome. I mean, anytime you can add an arm and you get a steal, we got Kurtz with the 4th pick last year.
Right.
So we've done well the last few years with our drafts, as you're seeing on our team. with most of our team being scouted and developed by Oakland. So I think from what I heard, the left-handed pitcher out of Florida State, I think the last name is Arnold. Is a
Yeah.
steal. Was supposed to go top 5, top 6 picks, and with getting him in the 11th pick is awesome. So I'm excited about that.
Talking to Coach Martin's third base coach for the Athletics. Coach, what was something that surprised you with the team in the first half? This could be a good surprise or a bad surprise, but what was something that maybe you didn't expect to see or happen that did happen in that first half of the season?
Well, I think it's just that stretch that we had. You know what I mean? That stretch of 20 and 21. We're too talented of a team for that to happen.
Yeah.
And in a lot of those cases, in a lot of those games, we had the lead. Something funky went. It just looked like the baseball gods were against us for a while.
Right.
Any little break that didn't go our way didn't go our way. You know what I mean? And we just couldn't capitalize on certain things. And I think that's the most disappointing part of the season when we look back at the end of the year and how we finish up. We're going to look back to that stretch and be like, wow, that was definitely a difference maker in the season. But you know what? The way we've been able to overcome that has been pretty good too. We've gone and beat some good teams. We just know how good we are.
Right.
I think, but the youth of our team also is evident at times. You know what I mean? And just being able to just not go out there and just think that we're just going to go out and win games. You have to focus on the little things, on the execution, on the details of the game that help you win ball games when things aren't all, clicking on all cylinders. So I think that's the thing that we'll look back on and is the biggest surprise for me because the talent is evident, you know what I mean? And how youthful we are and having Kurtz come up and all these young guys come up, and it's an exciting team and it's an exciting team to look forward to, but there's still things that we need to work on.
I've always said the sophomore slump is something that I like to pay attention to, or a player's sophomore season, because the scouting reports will come out the next season. You have a pretty big sample size of what this young dude did, and he balled out, but nobody knew that he didn't like the pitch high and inside until the very end of the season. With what Jacob Wilson is doing, Nick Kurtz as well, how do you think their second, or how is the team working with them during this second half? Because they have played a good bit that I know that these teams are trying to figure out what they don't like. And, each and every day they're going to face new challenges in that way. How do you go into that second half and, kind of look, hey, you guys are having outstanding seasons. This is what we're seeing though. And this is what we might expect pitchers to focus on based on the success that you've had and how you've had that success in the first half?
Well, I look at it two ways, right? A is you have the uber talented guys like the Mike Trouts, and it doesn't matter. You're going to try to get him out a certain way, but you still can't because this guy is Mike Trout, or he is, Vladdy, or he is Juan Soto. You know what I mean? And so we're hoping that both those guys are those guys where it doesn't really matter what they try to do.
Yeah.
But in reality, right, it doesn't matter. They're still young. And they're going to have to make adjustments, right? So it's like you don't really want to talk about it too much because you want them to kind of go through that and see if they can make the adjustments on their own, which surprisingly enough, Nick Kurtz and Jacob Wilson, those two guys study, and those guys already have a plan of how pitchers are going to try to get them out. They're already trying to find ways to combat that. So which is already above and beyond what we can expect from players, you know what I mean? So like I said, hoping that those two guys, it doesn't matter how pitchers try to get them out, they're still going to go out and perform. But on the development side of it, just being able to see them make the adjustments and understand a game plan of how pitchers are going to try to pitch you and make those adjustments is going to be fun to see as well. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the pitchers have to throw strikes. They have to get it over the plate, and you have to have a plan and stick to it. And that's basically the bottom line to hitting, right? Is having a plan, having an approach, and not straying away from it, and see what happens from there. So
yeah, and obviously, the conversation comes up whether you guess or react. I can never guess, Coach. Oh my goodness, I'm reacting. And look, please be a fastball. That's pretty much what it was for me.
I don't know, man. I tell you what.
Yeah.
I people ask me. I said I think it's 75% guess. Honestly, it's like, okay, you have a plan in your head. You're like, all right, well, you have a plan of what you're looking for. Or you're looking for a fastball, right? Or there's certain times where you're going to sit breaking ball.
Right.
So it's just like you're guessing I would say a little bit more than 50% in the
Yeah,
box.
that's a
And
good
the good
point.
players just react. It seems like just stuff slows down. It's like the pitcher throws the ball. That's a fastball. It's middle away. I can swing if I want to, or I don't have to. Nah, I'm not going to swing. It's a ball. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Or a breaking ball comes out of the hand. Oh, I see spin. Okay, it's a slider. Yeah, I'm going to wait till it gets right here, and I'm going to hit a double in the gap. It's
right.
just unbelievable how the talented guys and the special guys can do that.
Yeah, and I guess the reacting thing comes up with 2 strikes. I mean, some probably still guess with 2 strikes, but the reacting thing comes up with 2 strikes. You're gonna foul some stuff off. But I guess I was more of a guesser. I'm more of a hoper. I was just hoping it was a fastball.
I like that. Wishing that this is a pitch that I could hit. Hoping.
Exactly. Coach, before we get you out of here, obviously the trade deadline is gonna fly up on us pretty quickly. From your position as a third base coach, do you hear rumblings in either way, or do you sign into social media one day and say, oh, okay, we made this move? How does that work, and have you heard anything either way?
I feel like we're an interesting team of like what we are going to do.
Yeah.
I don't really hear much. I know there's stuff that we need and things that we need, but how much are we willing to tap into our young talent to be able to acquire those things because of where we're at as a team and how youthful we are and the core that we're building? So it's like, I know there's some pieces that we probably could move, maybe some veterans or some good talent down in the system that can help us achieve some players that are going to help us down the road. If we're a playoff team or if we're in contention, it's a completely different story. We know exactly what we need. We're going to have to give up to get what we need, and we go from there. So it's like, for me, it's interesting because we're kind of in that in between stage of being that talented team, but we don't want to tap into our talent pool right now because we like the core of guys that we have, but we know what we also need some stuff. So we'll see. I mean, I don't hear anything, which is good because I don't want to start guessing.
Yeah.
When it happens, I'm just as surprised as everybody else. So
there you go. Well, thank you for the time as always, Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the Athletics. Enjoy your time, your break at home. You'll come back recharged, ready to rock and roll, and good luck in the second half.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, man. We'll talk soon.
That was Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the A's. And somebody said, who was that yesterday? Was it Whitey during crosstalk that he said, I love talking about players that are untouchable, or I love labeling people untouchable? It might have been, it was either Chris or Brendan, somebody that I talked to yesterday, but I'm gonna do it again. Nick Kurtz, Jacob Wilson, untouchable. Can't do it.
I think you could keep going from there.
Can't do those two. I'm not going to do too much. Those two are untouchable.
I think you could keep going. I mean, Brent Rooker was less than an inch away from winning the home run derby against Cal Raleigh. I'm
just saying, based on age, if you had to do something, well, I wouldn't want to.
We should look this up at some point. Just when was the last time we had the same team get first and second place in Rookie of the Year?
Right.
Like, I'm sure it has happened before, but just off the top, I can't think of it because Jacob Wilson is starting in the All-Star game and he might not win Rookie of the Year.
I'm telling you.
I think someone brought it up at the game I was at on Sunday, but it's like Nick Kurtz is hitting like a home run 1 out of every 11 at bats right now, and it's like only Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge are ahead of him in terms of home run percentage.
Yeah, it is. Look, the future looks bright for the A's as far as their young talent. Now, obviously, they're having a tough season this season, but this is what we saw. Yeah, I know there was the trash banging, but this is what we saw with the Astros, right? You stink for a while, you build that young core, and then, we're good. Now, that's what was supposed to happen with the Orioles, and I don't know what's going on with the Orioles, but the same thing with the Braves as well. You had Acuna, even though he was injured, but these guys come up, they, 3 or 4 of them pan out, and bing, bam, boom, you're a World Series champion.
Well, they also traded for Verlander and did some other things.
Yeah, you do that later. But that's the thing. You keep hitting on these young players, and the Denzel Clarks, whoever it is, or you just decide, I'm not going to throw Denzel Clark out there. You decide who you are making untouchable and who you think could be used in the future.
Well, I don't know if it's untouchable, quote unquote, but it's like they obviously need pitching. Like
Yes,
just desperately need pitching, and they have a plethora of young hitters. What's so weird about pitching in baseball nowadays is like if you want to get one of these young stud pitchers, the only way to do it is to draft them.
Yeah.
Like that, because the arms, by 25 years old, everyone's having a Tommy John surgery and the arbitration and everything else. Like you have to draft one of them or pay a hefty price to try and get one of these, Shane Biebers right before they hit arbitration or something. It's so hard. I think it's way harder to get a young stud pitcher than it is to get young stud batters in baseball, which stinks for the A's because they have all the young stud batters at this point.
Yeah, so we'll see. Great stuff from Coach Eric Martins as always. And somebody else on the text line, 530, Lawrence Butler, untouchable. It's a nice contract. Like I said, I would like to say that as well, but we can't have 4 untouchables on a field of 5 people.
I mean, name your price,
That's the Lawrence Butler, Brent Rooker. You'd have to listen. I'm not picking up the phone on Nick Kurtz and Jacob Wilson. That's where that's where we'll leave it.
Hanging Soderstrom out to dry there.
Like I said, you can't have 7 untouchables when you're last in the AL West. So that's kind of rough sledding. As we kind of make our way back over to the Kings, we still have this audio to play. So, Kyle, let's get into it now. This is, first and foremost, Scott Perry reiterating that he doesn't want prisoners.
Not hostages. How's that recruitment and that process and that culture building coming along so far?
It's in a good place right now, guys. And that's important. You got to know this. You need total buy-in to have a chance to be successful. So we don't want anybody that doesn't want to be there. And it's nothing personal. So what you're seeing out here in Summer League, you're seeing a whole bunch of volunteers right now. And I love watching it. These guys are playing hard. They're playing together. And one thing we told them before the Summer League started was that this is an opportunity, first opportunity to start establishing our identity, what a Sacramento Kings team is going to look like and play like.
Well, and that identity has to start. I mean, of course, Doug Christie was a great defender as your head coach. We know that identity will start on that side. And you've seen that here with the Summer League team, correct?
Oh, absolutely. We're picking up 94 feet. I love to see that. And look, if we look further ahead, we just watched the finals where you saw 2 organizations that really extended the floor defensively. And I think that's the way the game is going, and you're going to need a lot of depth. You're going to need athletes who can defend and create offensive opportunities for your team. So I'm excited about it. That's the way I grew up playing basketball. My years in the league when we were most successful with Detroit Pistons, that's how we played. We played tough, we defended, and we shared the basketball, shared the game. So we want to bring that here to Sacramento.
That was Scott Perry talking about the identity, and it was hostages. Not prisoners. It was hostages.
Very, very key difference there. Not a huge difference.
Enough. Yeah, it was enough of a difference to clarify that. Hostages.
Sports radio debate?
No.
You don't want to do? Would you rather?
Yeah.
Which 916-339-1140. Would you rather be a hostage or a prisoner?
No, don't call and don't answer that. But great stuff from Scott Perry. I don't think he was. I'm not trying to start anything. I literally, in my mind, as I was listening yesterday, was trying to figure out, reading tea leaves on what's been released. Is there anybody that didn't agree? Or how would even that conversation go? Right? Hey, we want you to play defense. I'm cool. No thanks. I don't want to compete on that end, because for all of the bad defenders out there, whether they are stars or not stars, there is a level of, hey, we can have a conversation and nobody's going to say, I don't care about defense. I don't think out loud, but they could say that they do. But if they don't behave like they do, that's a problem. So Scott Perry is having these conversations, or he said he was going to have conversations with everyone, right? Then we saw some stuff come out as far as who the Kings may be interested in moving. And I'm just curious, okay, well, is any of this based on conversations that were had, or is it just kind of odd man out? Take Malik Monk, for example, right? And I had thought about that and mentioned it as well. Hey, I wonder, was there a conversation there? Malik Monk is not even their worst defender, to Kyle's point earlier. So maybe it's more of a philosophy thing. And if anything, you listen to the conversations and it's all essentially, I won't say the opposite, but doesn't seem like DeMar DeRozan is Scott Perry's type of player. But there's only so much, as we say on this show a lot, you got to pick your battles. And if you are going to have somebody on your team that doesn't really fit where you want to go with the team, at least it is somebody like DeMar DeRozan, who's a Hall of Famer, who is still a closer, who is still somebody that can put up 30 for you when you need it. So there's worse situations to be in. The problem is it's him, and then you have LaVine, and I won't put Sabonis in that same category, but Scott Perry is only able to pick a couple battles this season. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, the problem is not LaVine or DeRozan, because like we talked about, you can get away with one net negative defender who is an elite offensive scorer. And DeMar DeRozan was a great offensive player last year. Like, I know we try and move him out of town sometimes and did all the trades and stuff. He was great last season on the offensive end of the floor. The problem is the repetitiveness between him and Zach LaVine, both being net negative defenders who are also excellent offensive players. I'd say LaVine's probably not quite where DeRozan is right now, but they're both very similar, while at the same time also paying Malik Monk $18 million per year for the next 3 years to do a lesser version of what DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine do. It's just the problem is not each player individually. The problem is the repetitiveness of all three.
Yeah. And look, we have been over this, of course. Is the answer, and this is what I'm adding into it today as a new wrinkle, is the answer just it's not DeMar to the bench? Because that, if all of the big swing changes are unrealistic, we can't move Zach LaVine because of the contract, right? And I talked to Brett Siegel about that, talked to Michael Scotto about that. That's up on YouTube right now. Check it out. Okay, we can't move Zach LaVine. We don't want to move Domantas Sabonis. We can't get value for DeMar DeRozan. So the only thing we can do is balance out the decisions that we are making from a playing time standpoint. Assuming that you're getting production. You can't do this if you're not getting production from Devin Carter and Nique Clifford and Maxime Renaud. You can't do it.
Or Keon Ellis.
Or Keon Ellis, of course. So the balance has to happen somewhere. It's not happening on the market, right? They're probably going in to the 2025-2026 season with that redundancy. But you added a point guard who can defend. He's not a full-on net negative Dennis Schroeder. He competes, and Scott Perry said it himself, right? Scott Perry looking at D LeBron, G LeBron, and B LeBron, but Scott Perry said it himself. Can you find that balance just through Doug pressing the right buttons? Saw Mike Woodson out there, wanted to say what's up to him. Did get a chance to talk to Bobby Jackson for a little bit. Was really excited to do that. And I have a mini story for that because there was something I wanted to say, but I didn't want to be that person, so I did not say that to him. On the other side, an old friend is available. Would you want to bring back that old thing to Sacramento? We'll tell you who it is when we return. Now, South Sacktown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It is peak summertime for Sacramento River Cats baseball. From July 18th through the 27th, we have 9 River Cats home games in 10 days at Sutter Health Park. It's the perfect time to bring the whole family for affordable, action-packed baseball and nonstop fun. With every game offering something special, don't miss the excitement. There's no better place to be this summer than right here at the ballpark with the Sacramento River Cats. Get your tickets at rivercats.com.
Around here, the summer can smack you silly, especially if your AC is not functioning at a high level. Whitey Gleason here. I had the opposite problem over the winter. System went down. It was panic time, but Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating saved the day. Let them save you from unnecessary summer misery. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, reliable, trustworthy. They do great work. They won awards for their service. Check the reviews at leesair.com. Find out about their $99 HVAC tune-up service. Save your summer now. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating on the web at leesair.com. License number 635355.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
Are you thinking about buying a new car? Well, maybe you're on the fence. Let me help you out. Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the first time I stepped into the MP of Stockton showroom, I knew I made the right choice. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV. It's comfortable, stylish, and most importantly, it's safe. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. It's just a short drive down I-5 or anytime at MBFStockton.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Honda Summer Event and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. See all our specials at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey there, this is Dolly, coming to you straight from Nashville.
It's Stand Up to Cancer!
Join us Friday, August 15th for one night only and for one goal only, to beat cancer. So stand up with all of us and let's save lives together. If we join forces, we can end cancer forever. Tune in Friday, August 15th at 8, 7 Central on ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. For more ways to watch, visit standuptocancer.org/show.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Thanks again to Coach Eric Martins and the Athletics. Their beautiful showing so far in the All-Star activities. We'll see what happens with Jacob Wilson, but Brent Rooker did his thing. And yeah, just a funny situation in West Sacramento where the future is bright, but by the time these guys are all in their prime, there might be, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, I was in Vegas, so did see a couple, I guess, posters, you would say, About the A's.
Yeah,
it might have been. I don't want to get it. It might have been a picture of Brent Rooker, but yeah, it was a picture of
It's
the
on your
A's.
Twitter. Can you find it?
Yeah, let me pull it up right now.
Was it Brent Rooker or was it Jacob?
I don't even know if it was a real player. I mean, it's just like a stock
photo of a guy in an A's. It has to be.
His hat is tipped down, so you can't see his face.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it says Bright Lights Big League, athletics.com/Vegas. That's it.
So there's no player. It's just a generic person.
If you can, it's not Brent Rooker.
All right, let me pull this up.
It's definitely not Lawrence Butler. That is one thing I'm certain.
Yeah, it's probably not Lawrence Butler. Let's see.
It's not a real player.
No, I don't know.
It's not a real player.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest photo either, because obviously it's just taken on your phone, I think, through a car window, maybe.
Yes.
But I can't tell.
I'm telling you, man. Mason Miller. So did see that out there, and hey, TBD on that whole situation. It's also TBD if the Kings roster is done. And I can tell you this much, they don't want it to be done. I know that for a fact. Okay? From the conversations and things that have kind of passed by me and been told to me, they in no way, shape, or form think that this roster is done. What they're going to be able to do, and does that mean that they'll fully be done with it by the time the season tips off? I don't know, right? Everybody's got a wish list, but they are working to make a couple more adjustments. I can confidently say that. Will one of those adjustments be Rashawn Holmes? That's a good question. Could the Kings reunite with one of their old friends and, of course, a fan favorite? So you have Rashawn Holmes, who was in Sacramento for a couple years, 3-4 years, man, and everybody loved Rashawn Holmes and what he brought to the table. Obviously, he's a dude who's just going to compete at the highest level. Last season, he played 31 games at 7.4 points per game, 5.7 rebounds per game, 1.4 assists. He shot 64.7% from the field for his career. He's at 8.5 points per game, 5.3 rebounds per game, 1 assist, 60% from the field. Obviously, he's not a three-point shooter. 75% from the free throw line. He does fit some of that build that Scott Perry's been looking for a little bit, and brings something to the table that we've been hoping for. If you're picking between him and Drew Eubanks, obviously Drew Eubanks has got the size, and they're not exactly the same player, but I wouldn't mind him. And the reason this is getting brought up, by the way, is because he's been waived. The Washington Wizards waived Rashawn Holmes. So I would definitely have that conversation. Right now, where we're at with the Kings is that 4 or 5 combination player valued, or are they prioritizing that over the point guard situation? Let me put it to you like this. Again, just from things that are swirling, I don't believe so. I believe that they are pretty dialed in on the fact that they need something else from a guard position.
Specifically point guard.
I would say so. Not, I have heard way more about the point guard situation when I was in Vegas than I've heard about we need another 4. That's just, don't get mad at me. That's just what the conversation has been from what I've been told and from what I've gathered. That's how they feel. And he said it during the first Summer League game.
Yeah, I think the interesting part about Rashawn Holmes is if they had known he was going to get bought out when they did, not like right before the season started, would they have signed Drew Eubanks?
Yeah.
I don't know if they would have or not, because Rashawn kind of slides into that role perfectly. He has been a deep bench guy on the Beam team. One of my favorite Rashawn Holmes stats is that he's now the only player in the NBA who's played 10 or more seasons and never been to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So he knows a thing or two about some rebuilding teams.
Yeah.
I feel like Rashawn coming back would have been great because everyone was so sad when he left, right? He was the guy who beat out Marvin Bagley. The first Kings game I ever went to, they chanted MVP for Rashawn Holmes when he stepped up to the free throw line. Like, I think it would have been great to have him come back and just be the third string center, but now they have Drew Eubanks. And I know Eubanks' contract isn't fully guaranteed, but you know, we're talking about a vet minimum third center at that point who, you know, the hope is Maxime Reynaud would just be ready to fill those minutes right away and you wouldn't have to worry about Eubanks or Holmes.
Normally, I am not a fan of getting that old thing back because it's never the same the second or the third or the fourth time around. But in this situation where this isn't your ex that you're really trying it again and you're going to try to move in together, whatever it is, this is, you know, you're at an event. Maybe it's a 10-year reunion or something like that. And you run into each other and you're just going to enjoy each other's company for the evening, right? You're not trying to date again.
Plus,
so in this situation, I think that bringing the old thing back, I'm okay with.
Plus, everyone loved Rashawn.
That's right.
Everyone loved him when he was here. And the reason he ended up moving was just because of the contract. Like, he was making way too much money, and Mike Brown didn't play him. And so they just dumped his contract so they could give Sabonis an extension, right? It was never even like, oh, he left on bad terms. It's like, no, he just made too much money.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I think it would have been awesome.
Right. Now, the bigger question is, and you know, there were conversations going on about, hey, Drew Eubanks, could he simply be a camp guy now that we know that his contract isn't guaranteed, or, you know, would he even make it to the season? How do the Kings view Rashawn Holmes, and do they say, hey, now that he's available, let's see what we can do? You know, this is why Drew Eubanks was essentially our safety net. Now that Rashawn Holmes is available, let's see what we can work out. I mean, they've done it, you know, the Jalen McDaniels thing. We've seen this before. So, and then they added, you know, Jay Crowder and went from there. Maybe that's only if they view Rashawn Holmes higher than Drew Eubanks, which I don't know if they do or they don't. I would think that they do. You know, there might have been a smidge of an overlap with Scott Perry the first go round, or, you know, close enough, adjacent at least. So I would think that they do, but, you know, you just signed Drew Eubanks. Maybe it's not as simple as we think, but it would be great to bring Rashawn Holmes back into the fold. I don't think you need both. I will say that. I don't think you need Drew Eubanks and Rashawn Holmes, but I would rather have Rashawn Holmes than Drew Eubanks. So I would have that conversation, but I'm not having that conversation if Drew Eubanks is going to be on the team in the fall.
I think the other part of it is, like, you can afford one roster spot for a feel-good deep bench player. They've already got Terrence Davis. So you might have to pick between keeping Terrence Davis, which I don't think his money is guaranteed. So it'd be easy to move on.
Maybe they go that direction and they value, you know, being able to have two bigger guys than Terrence Davis, who what did he get? I don't know. Did he get 10 minutes total once he came to the Kings last season?
Most of it was the last game, too, which it was a little weird that his contract was guaranteed for next year when they did bring him in. But that may have also been a Monty McNair on the way out the door. Let me throw you a little bone situation. That's not like factual information. I'm just saying why they did it. I don't really know, especially if his money wasn't guaranteed. But if they did add a point guard, they'd be at 15 roster spots. So if they wanted to add anyone else, they'd have to waive either Terrence or Drew Eubanks
in that process. On the other side, could Josh Giddey's contract issue lead Kuminga to Sacramento? Allen Stiles, Sac Town Sports.
Constipation with belly pain that keeps coming back and back and back. If your symptoms keep coming back, talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C. Linzess could help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A+ Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal. You should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You waited a lifetime for this moment. Now it's time to celebrate. The official collection. The Oklahoma City Thunder, NBA champions. Available now at NBA Store. A Fanatics experience.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Tune into Sacktown Sports this week for live coverage of the 153rd Open Championship from Royal Portrush. Brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader. Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sacktown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. and some rumors coming out of Las Vegas talking about Lauri Markkanen, also Josh Giddey, and how the Josh Giddey situation could affect Kuminga's market and affect how the Warriors view the Kings offer. Now, I don't know that and how Devin Carter has been playing pretty dang well. We also have a panic meter for Devin Carter, where I'm at now. So we'll have some fun with that before the show closes. But this is what Tim McMahon and his crew had to say about Josh Giddey. The stalemate between Giddey and the Bulls continues into another week as the market for restricted free agents remains cold. Giddey was present in Las Vegas and had lunch with Bulls coach Billy Donovan, sources told ESPN, and Bulls executives were scheduled to meet with Giddey's agent during the week. Multiple sources told ESPN they expect Giddey and the Bulls to eventually come to a contract agreement, and the two sides have had some positive discussions. Yet, Giddey has been seeking a contract for approximately $30 million annually. With little cap space available this summer, Giddey's options for alternatives outside of Chicago dried up quickly, giving the Bulls leverage to hold off for a more team-friendly deal. Again, I don't know who told these guys they're worth $30 million. I don't know who told Kuminga that. I definitely don't know who told Josh Giddey that. You know, it's who are you comparing yourself to? Who is more worthy? Just quickly, who is more worthy of $30 million a year, Josh Giddey or Jonathan Kuminga?
I guess I would say Giddey.
It is Giddey. Also, the team matters, right? Kuminga is not worth $30 million on the Warriors. That's for damn sure.
Well, Josh Giddey also wasn't worth $30 million on the Thunder.
That's for damn sure as well.
Because the Thunder, what did Caruso get? I know there's an age difference, but like
last time I looked it up, Caruso is in 16 something. He's not above 18.
They extended him. I can't remember what it was. So so Caruso's extension, because I bring this up because that was just a straight up swap. They just swapped Caruso for Giddey. Caruso got an extension from the Thunder worth 4 years, $81 million.
There you go.
So the Thunder believed Caruso, again, older, less offensively inclined. They believed he was worth $20 million a year, and they were willing to just give up Giddey straight up for him.
Yeah.
So that's probably more where Giddey's going to come in at, is closer to that.
Yeah, and how this connects to the Kings, as far as the sign and trade conversation goes with Jonathan Kuminga, Kobe White is a name that a lot of people felt it was over in Chicago. He's 25, 26 years old. He, the contract is expiring, doesn't really line up. We have our point guard in Josh Giddey. Okay, let's make a deal with someone, and then they can extend Kobe White and go from there. That someone could have easily been the Golden State Warriors, because of the Warriors, they need another scorer. Even though they have Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, they need another scorer, somebody that can take a little bit of pressure off them, and somebody that the other team just has to respect. I saw Kobe White. He was in Vegas too. Everybody was in Vegas, but I saw him, sitting courtside. So now that has changed, and if the Bulls say, look, we think we're going to have Josh Giddey back, but if we don't, maybe we just continue on with Kobe White. Maybe we feel like they can play together, and we don't necessarily need to move on from Kobe White. All of a sudden, that potential partner for the Warriors in a sign and trade or in a normal trade, maybe that changes how the Bulls view things. And that conversation has come up in Vegas. Oh, so the Bulls might hold on to Kobe White. Okay, we didn't see that coming. Now, if something happens with Josh Giddey and he goes elsewhere in some weird way, now they definitely are going to hold on to Kobe White. And, they would have those money off the books, so maybe they would still be interested in Jonathan Kuminga. But that was a name that has come up, and there haven't been many. So now if you're playing the elimination game, the Heat, I would say, eliminated. The Bulls, I'm not going to say they're eliminated, but right now, as far as what I'm hearing, there's been no Kobe White smoke at all. Zero. You would think we would have heard something. So that, like I said, I could be wrong, and I don't have anybody telling me, oh, the Bulls are for sure holding on to Kobe White. It's kind of a combination of what we have been hearing and honestly what we haven't been hearing. So I'm not crossing the Bulls off yet, not with a red Sharpie, but maybe it's in pencil. So now they're gone. I never really believed in the Bucks because that don't make no sense. And you're looking around, there weren't many teams. The Nets got crossed off, we think, from I did hear something about that in Vegas, that the Nets, once they have Michael Porter, I don't know if this is a Michael Porter Jr. led team, but they got the Cam Thomas weird situation as well.
They also drafted like 5 point guards.
Right. So where is Kuminga going to get? Everybody needs runway. The Wizards, that was just a team I think people thought he'd make sense on.
I think he wanted to.
I'm not sure that we ever actually heard Wizards stuff. So you start looking around and, one thing that we asked Michael Scotto during the interview yesterday, go check that out on YouTube on the Sacktown Sports app. Hey, could this look different in December? And I think it will look different in December, but I don't know that it's going to go from three teams to 10 for Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know that. It's not going to. I do know it won't get to 10. I do know that.
I guess they believe that they will get more on a trade than Devin Carter, Dario Saric in 2 seconds.
Yes.
That is what their hope and belief is that by just putting it in our back pocket, we will get to December 15th and there will be a better offer on the table than that.
And it could be with the Kings still.
Sure.
It could be with the Kings still, even though we know they apparently don't want to trade coming into the Kings, but you don't got a choice. You may not have a choice. We don't know all of it, but if the Bulls decide that they're not moving on from Kobe White, then we'd have to look up Vucevic again. Maybe it's a Vucevic deal. Again, this would have to happen in December, but then you're starting to look around saying, okay, yeah, it was still disrespectful. And Vucevic, he signed at 3 and 18, right?
I think he's got like 20 left or something 1 year.
So depending on what Kuminga goes, they can make it work if they want. Yeah, and he's expiring. So, okay, Vucevic, who's 35, you're going to trade away Jonathan Kuminga for a 35-year-old Vucevic, who I guess you could extend if you want. If you're the Warriors, yeah, I would feel better about that than the initial deal from the Kings, but not terribly.
Yeah, I think he's a better scenario for the Warriors than Al Horford, which is what they're going to roll out right now, is whatever shell of Al Horford is left.
Eventually, they're going to roll that out, we think.
So in that sense, yes, I think their team would look better offensively with Vucevic versus Al Horford. But again, at the trade-off of Kuminga, it's tough. I also just don't... What's so strange about all of these cases, because you've mentioned Giddey, you've mentioned Kuminga, Quentin Grimes and Cam Thomas are also interlinked to this also, is I don't know when these things are going to get resolved. Like, it could be mid-September training camp before some of these contracts end up getting resolved, because what is going to change the leverage? Is it just wanting to finalize your roster?
Yeah. If you're Josh Giddey, we don't know what they offered him or what they're talking about offering him. And if you're on a contract, I would assume, hey, here are the, very similar to anybody else who has a job on a contract. Hey, here are the contract points. And the first one is obviously what we're planning on offering you. And he said, we don't need to go any further because I don't think that we're on the same page here. And then the same way, everybody in Sacramento, okay, go find the Kuminga thing, go find a better deal. That whole thing, the Bulls are telling Giddey, go find somebody who's going to pay you more than that. Yeah. And he can't because there's no money out there.
Well, no one's going to pay it to him in a sign and trade, which is why I don't know how these are going to get resolved, because no party has an incentive to sign a deal, right? If you're Kuminga, Giddey, Grimes, or Cam Thomas, I think at this point you just swallow your pride and just take a shorter contract just to then hit free agency, which is not what the teams want to do, because the teams want to get these guys under contract for 3 to 4 years at this price, because this is a once in a decade summer where there's just nobody with cap space and no leverage from the player, in part because of the new CBA. So I don't know how these things get resolved because I don't see any reason why the leverage would change in either direction.
Yeah, and maybe it's just, come on, man, believe in me more. Just believe in me a little bit more. You know what I'm going to be able to do. And again, all these guys, or I would say specifically Josh Giddey and Kuminga, especially them. I know Cam Thomas is a little bit older and Quentin Grimes as well, but especially them, it's easy for me to say, but you just take your medicine and you're still, based on your age, you're going to get another bite at the apple here, and you're before your prime even. When we return 12 o'clock hour coming up next, Kyle and I argue on why or why not the Kings should just play the young guys next season. You be a part of the conversation too, 916-339-1140. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Summer's flying by, and that back-to-school checklist, it's growing fast. New backpack? Check. School supplies? Check. Dentist appointment? Let's fix that. Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics is making it easy to cross dental checkups off your summer list fast, with priority scheduling for new patients and kid-friendly care that makes them smile. It's one less thing to worry about before fall. Call now or book online at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com, because healthy smiles should be the easiest thing to check off your summer list.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo.
Sponsored by Tricks Racing Games, Chicken Fingers, and Naturewood Home Furnishings. Tickets at catpfest.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. 8+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they helped me. They calmed me down. They made me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The San Francisco Giants are grown right here in Sacramento, California. Watch the future stars of Oracle Park take the field with the Sacramento River Cats right here at Sutter Health Park. From power hitters launching home runs to ace pitchers dominating the mound, don't miss your chance to experience the next generation of Giants baseball up close. It's exciting, affordable, family-friendly fun. Catch the Sacramento River Cats in action all season long. Get your baseball tickets today at rivercats.com.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise Guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Is your AC on the fritz? Call Bell Brothers. Looking to replace your old unit with a 0% financing and no payments for 12 months on approved credit? Call Bell Brothers. We're fast, reliable, and respect your time by showing up when we say we will. The price we quote is the price you pay. We are the No Surprise Guys. Call today to get a free estimate on a new HVAC system, or simply schedule your $87 AC Precision tune-up to keep your system running smoothly. With more technicians, more trucks, and more experience, we get the job done right the first time. No surprises. Our technicians are all background checked, drug tested, and will leave the work area cleaner than they found it. Don't wait. Call Bell Brothers today or book online at nosurpriseguys.com. That's nosurpriseguys.com.
KHD KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
It feels so good to be back. Like I said, I hope everyone turned your volume back to a normal level. Why did I get roasted like that, man? Y'all were really roasting me yesterday about my whispering, asking me, was I out there partying? It was a business trip, okay? It was a business trip. Was I out there partying? Come on now. But it is Vegas. And again, Kyle is trying to greenlight one of my stories, so maybe we'll get to one in the 1 o'clock hour. 2 more hours with you, then we will hand you over to the Drive guys, and they have a great show, I am sure of it, planned for you. But in 1 hour, we're still giving away tickets to experience Monster Jam Freestyle Mania at Golden One Center on August 10th. I was doing the show remote, so I couldn't see how quickly the phone lines lit up. But Kyle, I would imagine they lit up pretty quickly.
Sorry, I was on the phone right now. What was your question?
The Monster Jam tickets, they lit up. Did they go pretty fast yesterday?
Full lines immediately.
Yeah.
People were excited about it. And I'm going to go back and find his name real quick, but listens to us every day and got a winner yesterday. So we really appreciate it. Daniel is a loyal listener, and he won the tickets yesterday.
There you go. Shout out to Daniel. And you could be as lucky as Daniel in the 1 o'clock hour, 916-339-1140. Kyle and I are about to argue, but first, TC wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, bro? So I kind of want to get in and answer your question a little bit, bro. As far as, because you keep coming with that question, what the people around the league want to know what the Kings are doing. I want to know, like, what we're doing is we're putting a team together. That's what Perry's doing. He traded up into the first round and drafted a stud. He might be the steal of the draft, right? He might be a top 5 lottery pick, which he should have been, including Max, bro. He's putting a real legitimate team together with an identity that fits him and Doug Christie. That's what they're doing. The hell what the league is acting about what the Kings are doing, Allen. That really doesn't matter. It matters what's going on in Sacramento, what team we're putting together, period. And then we'll find out what's going on after that. The hell with the league's acting, bro. That's what I want to call in and ask, because you keep asking that question, brother.
Thanks for the call, TC. And I felt like Draper said something similar yesterday during their show, because I could hear him, because everybody could hear him in the media room. But I felt as if Draper said something similar yesterday. Hey, who are these people? And, you know, this is just and I'm not saying Draper was referring to me or not, I don't know. But this is just me having conversations, right? And people around the league. You don't have to agree with them. I'm just saying that based on people that I talked to, they didn't see the vision. They thought that the Kings should just say uncle. And again, I'm not saying you have to agree with them or not. There are situations where people are wrong, right? People were wrong about Brock Purdy. People can be wrong. It's just, okay, the Kings are doing it differently. I don't necessarily know how they're going to do this. And here's the reality. You're going to need things to break your way. Every team does, but you're going to meet Zach LaVine just had a season where he almost went 50, 40, 90. You're going to have to need that again. You're going to need DeMar DeRozan to be just as good. You're going to need Domantas Sabonis to be as good as a couple years ago, right? Not that last season was a complete fall off, but you're going to need that. You're going to need Malik Monk, even though he's coming off his most points per game of his career, you're going to need him to be more efficient. You're going to need Keon Ellis to be better. Honestly, you're going to need him to be better. You're going to need Devin Carter to be better. So you look around, there's just not a lot of room for error. Other teams have more room for error. The Kings kind of need everything to go right in order to pull off what they're trying to pull off. I think that's what it is, right? It's not a matter of everybody knows what the Kings are trying to do. They're more so asking, why are you trying to do it this way? Because you need so many things to go right. When you do the develop young players thing, because we don't say the T word anymore, and you get somebody a top pick in the draft, now you have that vision. And I'm not saying to do that, but you're asking for a lot of things to go right. Dennis Schroeder is going to have a really good season. All of those things have to happen to be like a 5 or 6 seed. That's why people are questioning it. We know what the Kings are trying. Everybody knows what they're attempting to do. It's just a matter of there is a small margin of error. And I won't even say a margin of error. You need everything to go right to get a 5 or 6 seed.
And need some people to make leaps. More specifically, right. Sabonis getting back to being All-NBA and Zach LaVine playing at I won't say all-star level, but like as a top 50 player in the league. You need both of those things to go your way in order to be a 5 or 6 seed, in addition to good health, in addition to rookies being contributors and all sorts of things that you just outlined.
Right. And that was kind of the argument for as Kyle and I get into it right now, that was the argument for, hey, we were a 2nd seed, so next season we're going to upgrade, DeMar in his last year. Now the Clippers are ready for him or whatever it is. So we finally got a 4. We're going to move Keegan to the 3. And I don't know who that 4 would be, right? Maybe PJ Washington's still out there somewhere.
Hey, if it's the Clippers, then welcome John Collins.
Yeah, John, he's going to he had to take a detour, right? When you're in a plane and you got to stop somewhere, okay, a layover, then finally he gets to a final destination with the Kings.
But he made it home.
But he finally came home, right? Everyone's going to come home to Sacramento. So maybe that works, but you're still needing to count on everything that went well last season to happen again. And we're still talking about a 5 or 6 seed. So that's more so the issue here versus, teams confused or league people around the league confused at what the Kings are trying to do. They're confused in the sense of, a lot of stuff has to go right in order for them to pull this off. And I'm just not betting on, no pun intended, I'm just not betting on those things happening. There were some fans off camera that really were struggling with that 38.5, but they could not bring themselves to say under on the camera.
They didn't want to be that person
in their Kings jersey. So, we know what they're trying to do. People around the league are just wondering, why are they trying to do it this way? We'll see what happens after the next season. I've been in the camp of, hey, they were going to get through this season. I'm more interested in what happened. To be completely honest with y'all, I can't wait to go to Summer League next summer, and I'm interested in, based on how this season ends, now where do you go? Because if you win 39 games and you miss the playoffs, you can't, and you're over, you hit the over, but you miss the playoffs, you cannot run that back.
You know that meme of what is it, Ben Affleck, and he's like standing outside of a coffee restaurant and he has a cigarette.
Right.
That would be us coming into work if they won 39 games next. If they were the exact same team as last year, because we would just be doing the same exact conversations again.
But I don't think so, though. I think that would lead to a crazy summer for the Kings. What I'm fearful of is the play-in crap. My biggest fear
is the 10 seed.
Is not that we are inadequate, is that we are powerful beyond belief. No, my biggest fear is that the Kings get the 9 seed, they win the first game, lose the second game on a buzzer beater, and they say, hey, 1 or 2 more moves, and we're that 6 seed.
We would have the number 14 pick in the draft, you know?
That is my biggest fear. And that might be what I'm assuming is that 39 wins doesn't even get you the 9 seed.
I mean, 40 got you the 10 seed last year. Or what? Maybe 38. I don't know what the Mavericks had.
Oh, my goodness. But that is my biggest fear, right? You're at 39, and maybe we don't know yet, but you're that 9 seed. You scrap through the first one. It's a home game. You got the T-shirts. And that next game, you lose, and it's a close one.
Yeah.
Because you can't, I think if you get blown out, Scott Perry's going to say, hey, all right, this is enough. He's having a conversation with his boss. Hey, we can't do this. We can't even fake this. If it's a close game, and then that squirrely 7 or 8 seed, they battle against the what would it be, the 1 seed. Hey, if we had just got in,
we could have won 1 game against the Thunder.
All we had to do was get in.
Do you know how insane that would be if the Thunder are the 1 seed again next year, and for the 3rd damn year in a row, it would be 1 game away? Would you rather just tank and keep the pick, or get a playoff series with the Thunder for the 3rd damn year in a row? That would be just asinine if that happened. But your point is, it goes back to what happened this year, which is like the your process should be set besides what happens in a 1-game play-in situation, right? Which, in fairness, it was last year too. And we did you did the shows where you were like, I don't know, man, if they go on a run here in the play. No, they already had Scott Perry hired before the play-in. Nothing was going to change. They already were going to fire Monty and hire Scott Perry before the play-in ever happened.
Just great shows.
Just a waste of time. Those shows were like, oh, I don't know, could sneaking through the play-in change their mind? No, they already had Scott Perry hired a week in advance at the end of the season.
Yeah, and we talked to some people out there about Scott Perry, and none of it was about Scott Perry. It was all about, to your point, what was the overlap here when you decided it was over with Monty and West? What did that overlap look like? So, as we kind of move into the play the young guys argument, and this is the conversation that started it all, or I wouldn't say started it all, but Dave was one of those people. He still has Sabonis in there, but he was trying to start Ellis, Nique, Keegan, Sabonis, and Rayno, and you don't even agree with doing something like that, Kyle.
No, I mean, assuming the roster is what it is right now, right? Like if they
and Dave, I mean, now that I look at it, this is actually different than what everybody else is saying. I think everybody else is just saying blow it up.
Yeah,
Dave is saying blow it up in a way that is, let's sit $47 million Zach LaVine and
$25 million DeMar DeRozan.
Hall of Famer DeMar DeRozan, which is not going to happen. So let's not even pay attention to that stupid bench that's not really a bench. Dave is saying blow it up.
Yeah, Dave is saying forget this season. If you have to send Zach LaVine home, send Zach LaVine home. Just sit on the money.
Buy him out or whatever.
Yeah, Dave is making the point, just let's get it started. Look.
Yeah.
Don't do that. My point is, like, even if you're trying to tank, don't do that, because one, the locker room is going to, you either got to send those people home or just, keep playing them, because there's no point in just saying, hey, keep showing up to practice, even though we know you're better than these guys, but we're just not going to play you. That would be.
Well, this is and that's my whole point. We're not having a conversation about those two being on the bench, because that's not realistic.
No, but Dave is making the point. You're going to have to pay someone. My point, I guess, is before we get to Dave, is you're going to have to pay someone $47 million a year for the next 2 years. You might as well see if you can get something valuable out of them while you're trying to compete. If we get to March and you're 10 games below 500, then yes, the season is over. There's no point in trying to continue competing if you're all but mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. And if that situation happens, someone's probably gotten hurt at this point. Something catastrophic has happened if they're 15 games below 500 come March. But if you get to that point, yes, of course you play the young players because the games don't matter. But you don't come right out the gate and do that, because then you're essentially saying, we don't even believe in this team that we've just assembled. So we're just gonna fast track the process for rookies who probably won't even be on the team 3 years from now.
Yeah, and what's funny is, and I'm not necessarily countering, even though I tease this as an argument, I'm not necessarily countering you right now, because look at, obviously you want top picks, right? But look how excited, again, everything is relative, and look how excited we are in Sacramento about, and we can do they should have been picked higher. Every draft pick should have been picked higher. That's what they're going to tell you. Look how excited we are about a 26 overall pick and a second rounder, right? If they messed around, got to a first, if we're having an honest conversation with ourselves and understanding that everything is relative, and they are that 9 seed again, and they somehow do, the worst part of it, to be honest, isn't necessarily that they're just trying to hang around and get in the playoffs, is the fact they don't get into the playoffs, right? If they were getting a bunch of 14, it would be annoying at some point. But to the texter's points on the conversations, or in the conversation that we've been having, if every other year the Kings were just a play-in team, anywhere from 6 to 10, right? And every year they were either barely in the play-in. Every other year, every 2 years, they barely got into the play-in or into the playoffs, and they lose in the first round. They lose in the second round. I don't know how long it would take, and I know we saw some kind of a preview of that with the Beam team, but I don't know how long it would take for fans to truly be annoyed with this, because that's not what you're doing. The problem isn't mediocrity. The problem is you're not even getting the feel good from the mediocrity. If Kings fans were told, hey, every 2 years you're going to have a second round exit for the next 10 years, now obviously you wouldn't go into it knowing that you're going to lose in the second round, but hey, you never know what could happen, but you're at least going to get to the second round, and then we'll see. You're going to be huge underdogs in every second round for the next 10 years, every other year, every 2 years. Kings fans would line up all over Doko for that, but they don't know. Number one, that's going to happen, and number two, you're still hanging in that 6 to 10, not even getting into the playoffs.
Yeah,
and then getting the 14th pick. That's the issue.
Let's make it the Clippers of the last, let's say 8 years. The Kawhi and Paul George Clippers in, 7 years together, made the playoffs 5 times, won 3 playoff series, and got to the conference finals randomly one time and got swept out, right? If you had that run, I think a lot of people would say, great. Wish it could have gone further, but at least we had a great team worth watching for the last 7 years. But that's not the situation, right? And part of why it's not the situation is they did not get adequate value for De'Aaron Fox, who was probably their best trade piece.
Yeah.
Sabonis has a longer contract, but I think Fox would have had more suitors on the open market if they had tried to make a trade either now or last summer if they knew they didn't want to keep this thing together anyways.
Yeah.
So I think because of mistakes that have put them in the position where they feel like they've taken a step back, they either gotta find a way to make up for those mistakes, i.e. finding another all-NBA caliber player somehow, or hang around in this new tier 4, tier 5 range that they're in until they eventually say uncle and make the step down, which I don't think is right now.
And to be fair, and this is not me hating, this is the reality. When you're throwing around all NBA, I mean, he's a fringe all NBA guy. We're not talking about they lost out on someone who's every year a second team all NBA.
Just say top 30 player in the NBA.
Sure.
Top 30 to 40 player.
We're almost a year away from my argument though, because living in reality, which is what I said in the crosstalk with Jason Ross, they're not going to do what Dave said, and they're not going to start those guys. So there's no point in me wasting anybody's time talking about it. How I feel is more so about this specific year. If you're a 9 or 10 again, or if you're worse, I think it's obvious, right? If you're a 9 or 10, I do not care if you I don't care what you do besides you got to get to the second round. If you're a 9 or 10 and 7 or 8 would be tougher just because I know what we're dealing with here with the organization. But if you are a 9 or 10 seed, I do not care if you make the playoffs or not, assuming that you lose in the first round, right? 9 or 10 seed, you miss the playoffs. I don't care if you win the second game. I don't care if you lose the first game. I don't care if you get to the playoffs and lose to the 1 seed, right? That is where I'm saying this ride is over. That's where I'm saying that. So this season, people, half of the fan base hits me up and says that, I'm pessimistic, I'm a doomer. Then when I'm optimistic, Allen, people hit me up and say you're carrying water for the organization. I'm really neither. How I feel is that Scott Perry was never going to come in here and blow it up, and I am almost waiting. I told you I didn't like the shorter deal. I thought it was too long, but they miss the playoffs or lose in the first round as a 9 or 10. I do think it would be tough at 7 or 8. They would try to convince us. I would still blow it up, but I understand why it would be tougher. 9 or 10, no excuses to have 3 of the same 5 starters. Zero excuse.
Right, but it's a lot easier to do that next year, right? Like, play this out with me.
Which is part of it.
Yeah.
So say the name when we're at the draft. Just say the name, which they did, Maxime Reynaud. Do the thing. Just do the thing that everybody does when you cannot make the playoff. Just do it at this point. It didn't work.
Well, okay, so first of all, you got to do your tankathon for today.
I will.
But play this out with me, right? Like, let's say they end up in that 10 seed situation that you're talking about, and they have the 12th pick in the draft next year.
Yeah.
Let's say Jordy Fernandez over in Brooklyn is like, we're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
We will give you our 8th pick in the draft next year. Let's say Brooklyn has a better year than they expect, right? They don't make the playoffs, but they make a step forward. And they have like the 8th or the 9th pick in the draft. And they say, we're ready to go. Give us Domantas Sabonis. We will give you our lottery pick. We will give you a Nick Claxton. We will give you 3 future first-round picks. They won't be great picks, but they'll help you start your rebuild, and let's go. So at that point, you would have 2 lottery picks on top of Nique Clifford, on top of possibly Devin Carter, on top of possibly Keegan Murray.
Keon.
We'll see, because he's a free agent next summer. So he could leave to go somewhere else. But you would have those 5 young pieces. You would have future draft picks. You could buy out Zach LaVine, and it helps because you have to meet the salary floor.
Yeah.
DeRozan, thank you for your time. You can go somewhere else with a non-guaranteed contract. And all of a sudden, now you have the scenario that Dave is talking about before, right? It's more plausible next summer to do that if that's the direction they want to go. But again, that's all contingent on how well they do this season. Because then at that point, even the young guys you are prioritizing now, they're going to have to compete for their jobs against the young players you continue to bring in over the next 3 years.
Right. And eventually you are going to need some version of a star, and we understand all that. I don't even really feel that. I don't feel differently if they get to the second round. I just know realistically they would not blow it up after getting to the second round. So again, I'm not going to waste time with the conversation like that. Would I? Yes, because then I think you would know that, hey, this was the best case scenario, and this is what it was. We did it. That honestly, we did it, because sometimes you have to understand when an investment has run its course, right? And that's how I would feel. I just know realistically they'd have to run it back after making the playoffs the second round, and they would retool, and see if they can get over the hump. And at that point, we'd say, okay. So a couple different situations that they can go through here. When we return, Nique Clifford making his case for Summer League MVP. He would join an illustrious group if he can pull it off. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center for your Tuesday. A notable drop in temperatures. We'll feel that. Bright sunshine expected with the occasional gusty breeze. Temperatures this afternoon, upper 80s to about 90 before dropping back to the 50s overnight tonight. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Roseville Auto Mall is Northern California's ultimate destination when looking for your next vehicle. Find the largest selection with 20 top brands. And right now, save big on the perfect vehicle for your summer fun during our summertime savings event. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys. And I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia. I got a tour of their headquarters. I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. Try the TrackMan experience, the very best technology to fit your metalwoods and irons. The new cutting-edge putter fitting studio with its $30,000 worth of technology is ready for your fitting. Hagen Oaks will help you find the best putter for your game. Hagen Oaks offers more technology, more choices, and more service. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531, 808-2531 for more.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community.
and he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests, Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo.
Sponsored by Trex Racing Cage, Chicken Fingers, and Naturewood Home Furnishings. Tickets at catpfest.com.
Whitey here, and I want to remind you, not all grills are created equal. The Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers are built different, built better, and built to last, with features other grills can't match, complete with a lifetime warranty. It's a great time to find out for yourself because Napoleon's Pro Summer Blast is on right now. Save up to $400 today on a Napoleon stainless steel Pro Grill. Become the envy of your neighborhood. Offer ends July 31st, 2025. Visit your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply and get grilling today on your new Napoleon Prestige Pro Grill. Napoleon stainless steel grills, simply the best.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Nique Clifford. So, what was that? Last week, we were having conversations with No Ceilings, okay? And they are really high on Nique Clifford, and they are some of the best writers out for the NBA draft. And Tyler Rucker, who writes for No Ceilings, he's got a list, right? And the list, each day, he says the council has an update, all right? He has a list of players too good for Summer League, right? This is what he writes. The council has an update. 2 new names have been welcomed. For the first time in the history of this Summer League, the council has approved a rookie for the glorious too good for Summer League list. That name is Nique Clifford.
Oh, we need a drop for him.
Yeah,
now.
we need some. What?
I was ready
Big
for
Red
it.
Dog. I don't know.
Does Clifford have a theme song like the actual show?
It's for the books. I know they have a show. They definitely have a theme song, but nobody would know it.
Yeah, but if it just is like a child's voice saying Clifford, that would be something.
Yeah, you can do your homework on that.
I know.
Nique Clifford, the first name for No Ceilings to be named to the too good for Summer League list. And everyone is just gushing over this guy. And it's not just Sacramento. A lot of people, this is someone else just kind of talking about the situation. Ben Pfeiffer from Sportscasting NBA, plugging some of my Nique Clifford work from the past cycle. He's been one of my favorite prospects to study over the last year. Underrated ceiling. And got a response from someone who seems to be Nique Clifford's grandmother, Rose Clifford. We got to get confirmation, but got a bunch of likes and everyone is kind of chiming in saying this is awesome. So I think it is his grandma. There's no picture, but I'm pretty sure at least everybody seems to think it's his grandma. So, I mean, it's incredible, man. It's incredible. And Ben Pfeiffer, his breakdown has a kind of a skill score, and his highest ranking is his on-ball defense. So again, another guy that can handle the rock, that can defend the rock, and that can shoot the rock. Those are the 3 things. Can you handle the rock? Can you defend the rock? And can you shoot the rock? And Nique Clifford can do all 3 of those things. And there's going to be a transition when they play NBA talent, I know. But if Nique Clifford was a lottery pick, or if he was a second-year guy, he would have been shut down. He would have been shut down after last night. We don't need to see any more, Nique. You're good. You're solid. Let's get you working with the big group. You know, that freshman that comes in, too good for the freshman team. Maybe they move him up to JV. Maybe he's a super stud, gets moved up to varsity. We don't need to see you play anymore. I had a buddy, I told him about Kenyatta, right? Kenyatta College. He was trying to play basketball. And, you know, he had tried to play at some of this, like a smaller D1. This is before the transfer portal, so it was a little wonky. So I told him, hey, go try out at Kenyatta. You know, I don't know the coach, but I can, you know, make some things happen and help you out there. And he, you know, went out to the tryouts, and the coach said, yeah, there's a showcase next week. We're just going to get you to that because you don't need to be here. You don't need to be here. He ended up playing at a D2 out in Colorado. Yeah, we don't, unless you think that maybe we can help you and go to a bigger school, but you could be at a 4-year right now. That's your call. And he did. He left. He played. He played out there as well. So Nique Clifford, we've seen enough. Allen Stiles seen enough. People around the league have seen enough. Obviously, hey, everyone's saying we need that championship. We need that Summer League championship. Nique Clifford isn't going anywhere. And with that injury, by the way, they did all this without Maxime Reynaud. He was out with that wrist, but still on the bench cheering everyone on. Mason Jones got dinged up a little bit. So we'll have to check in on that if he'll be available, because if he's not, then, you know, not that you wouldn't. If you're shutting down Nique Clifford, you don't care if you win or lose that game. And I don't think they're going to. It's probably worth a conversation, and we'll see if it comes up. But they know that they could shut him down. There's nothing else that I think they need to see as far as, oh, did we make the right decision, or he's got other room to grow, or we thought that he'd be further along here or here. That's how you draft someone, and then everything that you hoped he would be in Summer League, he is. That's it.
So, first of all, I think Summer League is one of those situations where, similar to Maxime Reynaud, if you have a slight injury concern, you'd rather shut it down than continue playing. But otherwise, you're just guys getting run, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. I know, you could temper expectations by saying, yes, Nique Clifford is also many years older than a lot of the rookies in this Summer League. Like, for example, he's the oldest first-round pick in the draft this year.
Yeah.
But the fact that he has come out and played excellent, and the fact that No Ceilings is saying, yes, he's outgrown the Summer League, is a good sign, because, you know, Devin Carter's about the same age, and we're maybe not having those same conversations about him. Second of all, I've done a deep dive down Nique Clifford's grandmother's Twitter, which has 0 posts, but a lot of replies on it. And I feel about like 80% certain that this is, in fact, Nique Clifford's grandma.
Yeah.
I feel very confident. Also, her Twitter's kind of wildin', but at the same time, I feel pretty confident this is Nique Clifford's grandma.
Devin that's such a tough situation. You just bringing it up. I know we're talking about Nique Clifford, but I think Devin isn't far away. They just wouldn't. And Devin is funny because of the shoulder thing. So I wouldn't be surprised. The Devin thing, I don't know if it's a matter of him being injured or this is just something I'm dealing with, because to that point, I know it's a new regime, so they want to see what Devin can do, but I can make the argument Devin is he's probably a game away from having those conversations, right?
No, because I don't put that stock in Summer League.
But that's my point, though. If Devin balls out in Summer League again, then why does he need to keep playing in Summer League?
Okay, I could.
You know what I mean? Is it making him better?
I would say if it's an injury thing, I just think it's guys getting run, right? I don't really know how much of this actually makes any of these guys better players. I think it's just tape, it's run. I mean, they've canceled the Summer League before, and I don't feel like anyone really missed it. Like, maybe it changed some of the evaluation processes, but I don't really know how much teams are even learning from this in terms of their rosters. I just look at it as G League ball with a handful of elite prospects, which, by the way, part of what doesn't give me pause about Devin Carter is didn't we see him put up like 45 points in a G League game earlier this year?
Yeah, and they're always crazy numbers. And the G League, you would argue, is obviously better than Summer League. So that I'm saying, look, new management, new front office, they want to see Devin, but I think Devin is probably not behind Nique because it's just a matter of, hey, your shoulder's not feeling great and you're still balling. So nobody's opinion. How is their opinion of Devin Carter going to change by the time Summer League ends? I don't know.
No, because it's just too small of a sample size to be able to really change it. So I just think there's more eyeballs on the Summer League, but it is essentially G League basketball.
Unless they just want people to see Devin. And when I say people, I mean maybe not only people within the Kings organization.
By that, you mean Joe Lacob's son.
Shout out Kirk. When we return, I spoke with a cap expert, and they couldn't believe that the Kings took on Zach LaVine. And I'll give you those details on why when we return. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I was taking my side hustle full-time.
Bold move, my friend.
And I needed to find everything in one stop.
Like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn.
Yes, so I hit the Staples Easy button. Staples had everything for a new office and print services for signs and brochures. Plus, Cindy, the Staples associate, helped me find the best tech for me.
Wait, no drama?
No, Staples made it easy.
For the products, services, and experts your business needs. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Summer's flying by, and that back-to-school checklist, it's growing fast. New backpack? Check. School supplies? Check. Dentist appointment? Let's fix that. Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics is making it easy to cross dental checkups off your summer list fast with priority scheduling for new patients and kid-friendly care that makes them smile. It's one less thing to worry about before fall. Call now or book online at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com because healthy smiles should be the easiest thing to check off your summer list.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Honda Summer Event and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. See all our specials at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hi, I'm Allen Stiles. Injured at work? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they've won over $500 million in settlements. Downtown LA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay $0 up front. Call Downtown. Text Injury Help to 40222. That's Injury Help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal, you should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Tune into Sacktown Sports this week for live coverage of the 153rd Open Championship from Royal Portrush. Brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
Cap experts are very confused, very, very confused just based on how things typically go. Real quick, in 15 minutes, we have the Monster Jam giveaway. We will tell you that lucky number you need to be to call in, 916-339-1140. Also, go check out topof9showcase.com. That is 9 as in the number, topof9showcase.com. That is August 9th at Luther Burbank High School. I have partnered with Luther Burbank High School to put on a baseball showcase for players that are considered late bloomers and under recruited. We will have multiple schools out there to check you out, possibly pick you up if they're in need of your services. And if you're looking to transfer, if you're still in high school, if you feel like you should have a little bit more buzz, there are some opportunities for you. We're expected to have American River College, Jessup University, and we're working on some others as well. So August 9th, go check out topof9showcase.com and sign on up, register. You can get on out there. As we discuss the contract situation with Zach LaVine, I spoke with somebody who is, their job essentially is at an agency, and what they do for the agency is they tell you, hey, this team is claiming that they can't pay whatever player that the agency represents. Yeah, hey, they can pay X amount more and still be okay. They won't be at the second apron or whatever it is. And obviously I'm oversimplifying his job, but they make sure that the agents have all the information to say, hey, you're lowballing our guy where you could give him X amount million more and we would still, you would still be in a good spot cap wise, luxury tax wise, things like that. So I asked him what he thought about the Kings, and obviously those who made that decision are no longer with the Kings, but he said the most surprising thing wasn't necessarily moving on from De'Aaron Fox. It was the Zach LaVine. The Zach LaVine decision. And from the numbers perspective, to take on, he said, look, regardless of the Zach LaVine contract, just the idea of taking on another big contract, moving on from De'Aaron Fox before he signed the extension, that's just not something people do. You either see if you can get it done, or, you know, it's a, hey, sign and trade type of situation where the other team knows, okay, this is what his contract is. This is all understood, not a Kuminga type of sign and trade, a more amicable one, if you will. And he said, I was really surprised that they took that swing. And when we were talking about it, it's funny that I didn't even really think of the Zach LaVine thing as quote unquote taking a swing, because normally when you think about a swing, I don't know, it's a flyer almost. This seemed much more calculated than that, going back to the well-documented interest that the Kings have had in Zach LaVine. But I didn't even think of it as a big swing, even though it really was. There was just so much that went on during that trade that it felt, hey, okay, I'm looking more so at what Zach LaVine is doing on the court and saying, hey, this is pretty safe in that regard. But you look at it as far as the numbers are concerned, and it really wasn't. Specifically because that hasn't been who Zach LaVine has been the last couple seasons. So we know the Warriors were interested too. Would the Warriors have actually done it? I don't know. To be fair, the Warriors just decided to pay Jimmy Butler, $52 million for the next 2 seasons. So maybe they would have done it if they thought, because they would be on the hook for Zach LaVine if they thought that, this was the best fit. So looking around, and we talked to, multiple people yesterday about, hey, once it's expiring, would it look a bit different? Maybe a little, but even on an expiring contract, that 47, you open that up and then it would all come, or the 49 would all come off your books. But yeah, the capologist, if you will, was just dumbfounded at the Kings' decision, not really to move on from De'Aaron, but even from at that point is when you say, it's not even about saying uncle, it's just deciding to take that contract, even if you're trading from De'Aaron and it's not working out. That was the one that was just a bit of a head scratcher based on how people typically do things.
So first of all, the term capologist is just excellent. I love that as a title for people who work in there, because it really is a science trying to understand all that stuff. But to the actual point that your capologist was making, we talked about this as day one that the trade was made, or at least week one that the trade was made, which was the Kings took a 70 cents on the dollar or 50 cents on the dollar offer for De'Aaron Fox. The only way they were going to get value back in that was either the Minnesota 2031 pick ends up being a top 5 pick somehow, or Zach LaVine is able to play at a De'Aaron Fox type of level to mitigate the loss of De'Aaron Fox. Because people forget in that trade, they took on Zach LaVine knowing that it was an overpay in order to not only move De'Aaron Fox, but also to move Kevin Huerter. Right. They got off of Kevin Huerter's money by taking on, instead of paying a year and a half of Kevin Huerter, they took on 2.5 years of paying Zach LaVine at $47 to $50 million, which, even if you thought Zach LaVine was having a turnaround season or his best season or most efficient season last year in Chicago, it still wasn't worth $47 million, which is why we had those conversations about, is this one of the 5 worst contracts in the NBA? Because
no, I mean, did he even get All-NBA votes?
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, he didn't even get All-Star consideration in the West. I mean, in the East, it was like him or Tyler Hero were fighting it out for the last spot, which I think was besides the point. This year, Desmond Bane might be an All-Star in the Eastern Conference. So, what are we really doing with Eastern Conference All-Star conversation in terms of superstar? But they willingly took on a contract they knew was an overpay. And so I guess your best bet is that he plays at an all-star level to at least make it feel like less of an overpay.
Yeah. And that is going into this season now, right? He still could, when you were saying, again, the numbers weren't crazy. That's why I wasn't really paying attention to the 47 mil as much as maybe others were initially, because my thought is, none of it really matters if you can pull this off and get to the playoffs. And looking at Zach LaVine's numbers, they weren't far off simply based on points per game, assists, rebounds. They weren't that far off. Then we saw it and we saw, okay, gameplay matters. And hey, we actually need Zach LaVine to be a bit of a point guard, playmaker type deal. So that's going to take away from who he actually is. So you made that. It's one thing to overpay and put somebody, and I guess here's the large, again, the money wise, we know what it is. But on top of that, it's one thing to pay somebody and put them in a good situation, to overpay somebody and put them in a good situation, right? That is tailored for them, which I think is what the Warriors maybe felt like they were doing. It's another thing to overpay somebody and then ask them to do different stuff on top of it. And so you're not getting the best version of what they were. And he still powered through and basically was the same person in Sacramento. But yeah, he was it was a head scratcher, man.
It was a surprising decision, which to LaVine, I will say this, and it clicked for me sometime when we were doing all the trades and transactions and stuff, is just, if Zach LaVine were making $32 million instead of $47 million, nobody would have a problem with Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine would be a great number 3 option. At times can be your number 1 scorer on the floor. Like, if he were just making $15 million less than what he was making, and it didn't hamstring their ability to add other players or sign a Keon Ellis to a contract extension, nobody would have a problem with Zach LaVine.
Right. And if he has another good season, is there that's what happens now. If he has a good season, the extension conversation comes up and maybe they lower it closer to what you're talking about, Kyle. I don't know how low they'd be able to get it. And there'd be people out there, again, if they get that 9 seed and lose, well, Zach LaVine had another really good season. Let's keep him on for 3 more years. That's the problem. When we return, there's been no problem with Maxime Reynaud on the court. We'll hear what Scott Perry has to say about his big man outside of Sacramento Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It is peak summertime for Sacramento River Cats baseball. From July 18th through the 27th, we have 9 River Cats home games in 10 days at Sutter Health Park. It's the perfect time to bring the whole family for affordable, action-packed baseball and nonstop fun. With every game offering something special, don't miss the excitement. There's no better place to be this summer than right here at the ballpark with the Sacramento River Cats. Get your tickets at rivercats.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland, and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
July 4th savings explode at Maida's Elk Grove Chevy. Save $10,750 off MSRP after rebates. Every new 2025 Silverado half-ton LT and RST 5.3 in stock. Maida Chevy has similar savings on every new Silverado. One of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $10,750 off new Silverado. Exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Rated 2011 or newer. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise Guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Need a new water heater? Call Bell Brothers. Need drain or sewer work? Call Bell Brothers. Need a free plumbing estimate? Call Bell Brothers. We don't guess at plumbing and drain problems. We use advanced camera inspections and diagnostics to identify the issues. We're fast, reliable, and respect your time by showing up when we say we will. Our technicians are all background checked, drug tested, and will leave the work area cleaner than they found it. The price we quote is the price you pay. We are the No Surprise Guys, with more technicians, more trucks, and more experience. We get the job done right the first time. No surprises. Don't wait. Call Bell Brothers today for a free plumbing estimate or book online at nosurpriseguys.com. That's nosurpriseguys.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and mobile.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sacktown Sports.
1 o'clock hour, and we will kick off that hour with a giveaway. Kyle, you'll pick the number today. Win a pair of tickets to experience Monster Jam Freestyle Mania at Golden One Center on August 10th. It's big time family fun at Monster Jam, where world-class athletes and 12,000-pound monster trucks come together to tear up the dirt in wide-open competitions of speed and skill.
Tear up the dirt.
We're looking for lucky caller number
5.
Caller number 5, Nique Clifford.
Yeah.
On the Folsom Lake Honda hotline to win a pair of tickets to experience Monster Jam Freestyle Mania at Golden One Center on August 10th. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Looking for caller number 5, Nique Clifford, the greatest Sacramento King to wear. And I'm kidding. 916-339-1140. Caller number 5.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
For those Monster Jam tickets, August 10th at Golden One Center. As we take you up to 2 p.m. and we want to kick off 2 p.m., Kyle is going to handle the phone lines, but we're going to talk a little bit about Maxime right now. By the way, if you have not seen the sit down that Jason Ross had with Maxime right now, it's incredible. It is incredible. Jason does such a good job of even getting some stuff outside of basketball specifically. You get to know the guy, and he is incredibly interesting, I will say. And Jason is just the top of the class, the cream of the crop when it comes to interviewing. So go check that out on YouTube or the Sacktown Sports app. Kyle, are we going to go with the audio now? Let's hear from Scott Perry. What do you have to say about Maxime right now?
We saw two bigs from the Heat, and the OKC Thunder played a lot of times with two bigs. Is there a possibility at some point that the Kings look like that, or at least some modified version of it?
We'd like to eventually get there. I think it's important to have size on the floor. Obviously, Max is a rookie coming in the door. One of the things that has pleasantly surprised me and us thus far in the summer league is when he switched on to some smaller offensive players, he's done a fairly good job of trying to keep them in front. And the biggest thing, and you guys can really appreciate that, he does something that a lot of veterans don't do right now. His voice on the floor defensively is unbelievable. And when you have a big on the back line that can quarterback your defense and let everybody know where screens are coming and cutting actions are happening, that is a big-time advantage for your defense. And I think that enhances your ability to be a good defensive team when you have verbal guys out there.
And especially when it's not even his first language. You consider that a Stanford grad, he's already going to be intelligent, no question about that.
That's right. That's right.
Great stuff from Scott Perry. It's almost as if Maxime, and I think what Scott is getting at here, and it looks like Kyle has a winner for those who have called in. So unless something goes squirrely, you'll have to try again tomorrow. But it's almost as if Scott Perry, and how I'm understanding it, is, defensively, there were conversations about Maxime Reynaud at Stanford and how they said, hey, we can't have you in foul trouble, so don't try to block shots as much as you maybe could, right? So that's he has spoken about that before. We talked about that with Chris Watkins as well. But it's almost as if on the other side of it, where he might be a little bit behind where it comes to contesting shots from big men and from others kind of getting to the lane, he also is a little bit better than you would expect guarding the perimeter. So, and yeah, you would probably prefer to have the shot blocking ability, which may come, we don't know, but that is something when it comes to being able to be a versatile team and have a versatile and a dynamic lineup, having a guy who can't just be picked on, right? Hey, every time this big, when, Al Horford trying to guard Steph Curry, every time Maxime's on the floor, let's just get him in pick and roll action, and he can hold his own in that regard. That's something that Scott Perry is saying we really value, and something that maybe we didn't see exactly on the tape and is translating here now. If the word out is that you can get him to shot block and to learn that ability more, because this is the NBA and it's just something you're going to have to do. No, we don't want you getting foul trouble, but we need somebody out there blocking shots and contesting the rim. Then you can start to round out a really, really good player. It almost feels as if Maxime might have some of the highest expectations out of all of the second rounders, maybe, and because he wasn't supposed to go when he went. But yeah, I mean, the way he gets talked about, I just don't believe is how a second rounders normally get talked about. And the word I would use is we're probably going into a season with some expectations, right? I mean, a second rounder, and if Maxime Reynaud spends most of his season in the G League, right, or even half the season in the G League, I think we'd all feel a bit let down. That's normally how you feel about second rounders. Typically, that's how it's supposed to go. So the better he plays, things are going to change, and his expectation, I don't think his expectation for himself, but things are going to change when, you got random people have no connection to Sacramento saying, man, no, this guy, and I would talk to an agent from a Western Conference team, and he said, Maxime Reynaud should have been a first rounder. So that's part of the expectation. Then, but again, we hear that all the time. Then when the player gets out there and actually does show, oh, okay, there's something to this, the expectation is not what it once was, and Maxime will have to kind of react to that in a different way. Devin Carter, the whole thing kind of got thrown out the window or messed up because he was supposed to be a steal at 13. Then when he didn't play, it kind of just threw everything off, right? If Devin Carter had essentially, if he did what he has done so far at Summer League, we would all be thinking much differently about Devin Carter. So to see, obviously, Nique Clifford and Maxime Reynaud, it's different, man. It's different. And he is not in the camp. I don't know, with this wrist thing, do we even have that conversation? It was wrist soreness based on the big men the lack of big men that you have. Would you think about, we've seen enough? Would you think about it? Shutting them down? My personal opinion is if you sprain a pinky, you're shutting a guy down for Summer League. Yeah. Unless it's like, okay, I'm fighting for my like Mason Jones. Right. I'm fighting for my last chance to be on an NBA roster, to get that 15th roster spot. Okay, I understand him. You keep playing. But if you're
if you're one of the 4 guys that already has an NBA roster spot, just shut it down at the slightest nick or injury.
Yeah, no, obviously Brendan and Chris still boots on the ground out there in Vegas. We'll see if they hear anything, and if that becomes a thing. We'll know more when the Kings play next. Kyle, let me know if you can gather this, because I just came across it. Obviously, we were getting ready with our show, but I did see Mark Jones was on the morning show with Jason Ross, and he brought up those 2 magic words that will get Carmichael Dave to respond even when he is on vacation. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has been brought up, and if they're both on a minimum, is that where the line stops? Ben Simmons or Russell Westbrook? Is that where you say, okay, I'll take Westbrook? Is it there?
I don't hate Ben Simmons. Like, for the record,
so you would take Ben Simmons?
I'm not saying between him or Westbrook. I don't think there's a difference, honestly, between
there's definitely a difference, dude.
Well, no, at least he won't shoot threes. The problem with Westbrook sometimes is that he does shoot threes.
No, that is disrespectful to Russell Westbrook.
At least we know with Ben Simmons, you leave him open, he's not shooting it.
He's washed when we haven't seen the yearly
workout video.
Summer League workout video. He's got a 3-pointer now. But
I could go either way.
Yeah, you have the sound. Let's get to it. This is Mark Jones on what he's been hearing out there in Summer League land. Here it is.
I'm curious to see if any more dominoes fall. Obviously the Kuminga thing is kind of orbiting around potential roster moves. I'm not sure that the math works, the money works there, based on what Kuminga's camp is probably looking at their client getting. But he's a very attractive piece. Some of the chatter I've heard out there a little bit, and I'm thinking about what price he might come at is, and this, some people will scoff at this, some people won't. When you look at his talents, Ben Simmons is still out there too, and a 6'10" guy that is NBA All-Defensive team, a great passer and facilitator. He'd be great in the type of style that the Kings might want to run this year.
That was Mark Jones. I would never pick Ben Simmons over Westbrook. I just can't do it.
Is Ben Simmons kind of like Beetlejuice for Dave at this point?
Yeah.
You just say it and he appears, but Westbrook is... Look, besides the point, I don't hate... Ben Simmons would be a lot better defensively than Russell Westbrook.
Yes,
but
he's bigger.
And a good defender. He's former All-NBA defender. Yes,
I don't know. Hey, hold on.
It was only like 4 years ago.
No. Kyle, Mr. Mikal Bridges is bad on defense now because he had one bad year. You won't even let me call Mikal Bridges a good defender anymore. You hop in every time and say he was bad. You're trying to sell me on Ben Simmons. I don't know when's the last time I saw Ben Simmons play defense. Number one, I can't believe you just said that.
I mean, it's only 4 years ago that he was a great defender. You know what? I'll pull up the nerd stats. Let's see just how bad Ben Simmons has been on defense the last
He
years.
Probably hasn't even registered because he hasn't played. He doesn't meet the minimum.
On Brooklyn, that's probably true. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll see where he ends up on the list.
No, I can't do it.
Again, it's a backup point guard position. This is honestly the argument for the campaigns, right? Is like, if you are talking about
Ben Simmons or campaign,
right? But we're talking about I think why some people would say campaign over Russell Westbrook is like you're specifically filling that role of 10 minutes a game, distributing, ball handling. I think Ben Simmons does that maybe better than Russell Westbrook. I'm not saying that Ben Simmons is for sure my pick over Westbrook. I'm saying it's pretty much a push for me.
Ben Simmons a.k.a. Simo the Savage, a.k.a. Young Socialite, a.k.a. Fresh Prince, a.k.a. Peacemaker, a.k.a. Benny, a.k.a. Big Ben, a.k.a. The Wizard of Oz.
So just looked up the stats here, and now he only played 300 minutes in Brooklyn in 2024, but he was a great defender in each of his 3 seasons with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Are you taking him over Russell Westbrook?
You know what? I'll say it. Yes.
That's crazy, man. I don't know. That is so
Now,
disrespectful.
was he the worst statistical offensive player who recorded 1,000 minutes last year? I think he might have been, but he was a fine defender on the Clippers. I didn't realize just how bad on offense he was, but he was a pretty good defender.
51 games, 5 points per game, 4.7 rebounds per game, 5.6 assists per game. I mean, that is nice. Field goal percentage. I've never seen this before, and I'm not kidding you. On Basketball Reference, 52% from the field. Field goal percentage from 3 is just a dash.
It just doesn't exist.
It's just a dash. I've seen 0%, but it's just a dash.
Just didn't even shoot one.
I don't believe he did not take a 3 in 2024, 2025. That's insane.
If it makes you feel better, Ben Simmons and Davion Mitchell had the same offensive rating last season.
The last time he took a 3 was 2 years ago.
There's no way.
Yes. He took 2 threes in 2023. He did not take a 3 in 2024. He did not take a 3 in 2025.
So the last time Ben Simmons shot a 3-pointer was the Beam team.
Yes.
The Kings hadn't broken the playoff drought the last time Ben Simmons shot a 3.
Yes. We hadn't even seen the peak to even discuss how it was all going to end.
Yeah, wow, he is one of the worst offensive players in the league.
I just can't do it.
But
I think a better conversation is Cam Payne or Ben Simmons. Because Russell Westbrook, that's disrespectful to Russ. Get that bust off my team.
Look, this is the tough part, though, about Russell Westbrook is, again, you're only asking for 10 minutes a night, right? Russell Westbrook's never been that guy in his career. I don't know how well he's going to adjust.
Hey, man. And I don't know that it is only 10 minutes. We don't know that.
Is Schroeder the starter?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're looking at 30 minutes a night for the starter, 10 minutes a night for the backup, and 8 minutes where there is no point guard on the floor.
When it comes to Russ, if he's rolling, you got to go with him. I think that
I could say that about Ben Simmons. When Ben Simmons is rolling for that 1 second, that Ben Simmons makes a shot from the perimeter.
No, you literally can't. That goes back to the Dennis Schroeder deal, because I feel as if they knew that their plan was kind of to get. It feels like they may have deviated from their plan. It feels as if maybe they knew they wanted Schroeder and Russ once they found out that maybe they were, I don't know, this is all just me assuming that they were tussling back and forth in order to get Schroeder. It becomes a mini bidding war, I'm assuming, and they say, okay, well, we really want Schroeder. If they could have got him on a lesser deal or maybe a shorter deal, then you could argue, I don't know if Dennis Schroeder is going to play 30 minutes a night. You bring in Russell Westbrook, and we're not having a 10-minute-a-night conversation. So who knows how they ended up there with Dennis Schroeder, but that is why getting Dennis Schroeder didn't bother me. But if you want to disperse this and kind of have it be, we're going to, it's by committee, but by committee with just lesser point guards, the way they sold Schroeder and the way they paid him and the way they sold him is, no, this is our guy. This is our boy. You have boys, that's your friend, but then you got your boy, that's your best friend. No, they didn't sell him as, he's one of our boys. No, he's one of our boys. Like, this guy, we're moving forward in 3 years. So that kind of changes. To your point, there's only so many minutes to go around. So Russ, I mean, what was he playing? Was he upset in Denver? What was he playing in Denver?
I mean, he was trying to start in Denver. He was trying to play crunch time minutes in Denver. I think he was probably around like 20 would be my guess.
Oh, yeah. He was at, dang. He played, there's no way. 27 a night?
I mean, he was starting for a while there.
27.9 a night.
Yeah, because he was starting at the beginning of the year, and then they decided we're better with Christian Brown in the starting lineup.
So either he's playing 10, probably not happy, or he's playing more than 10, and you're paying Dennis Schroeder $15 million to split time with Russell Westbrook.
I just think that for the role they're looking for, I don't know if Russell Westbrook fits the bill in the same way. Now that they already have Schroeder, like if it was a conversation between Schroeder or Westbrook, I could be talked into Westbrook over Schroeder if you're talking about giving him the 25-minute a game runway. Now that they already have Schroeder and they want him to be the starting point guard, you're looking for a campaign, a Jones or Ben Simmons.
Ridiculous.
I mean, that's all Ben. I don't think there is a single spot in the league Ben Simmons would still start at the point guard position.
No, he doesn't want to start because he hates basketball. But even if he wanted to, he played 20. Somehow Ben Simmons, this has got to be false. This has got to be a typo. Somehow Ben Simmons played 22 minutes a game this last season, 51 games, 22 minutes a game. How is that possible?
Was that all with the Clippers? What was his specifically Clippers points per game or minutes per game?
16.4.
Okay. That's probably about what he's going to end up with on Sacramento. Again, assuming that like Schroeder's going to get hurt for a game or two and he's going to have to slide in as a starter. The face that you just made was like the look of horror. It was like you just walked in and your cat had just torn up the couch. That was the look that you just gave me when I said Ben Simmons spot starting.
I would say I'd rather see Nique Clifford as a starting point guard than Ben Simmons. And I'm being dead serious.
Yeah, you just don't like Ben Simmons. We've established this.
I would rather see Nique Clifford at point guard. I would rather see Malik Monk at point guard.
Devin Carter?
I would rather see Devin Carter at point guard. I'd rather see Maxime Reynaud run the point than Ben Simmons in a Kings jersey.
We get it. You're not a Ben Simmons guy.
Who else is there? Mason Jones. I'd rather see Mason Jones. Give that brother a shot.
Keegan Murray?
Yes.
He can dribble straight.
Just get across court. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. I do not want to, if Ben Simmons starts a game for the Kings, maybe, just maybe, that would be what everybody needs to start let's develop. All right. Can we just develop the young guys now?
That would be your sign of like, I'm not serious about this anymore.
Yeah. Can we just develop the young guys now?
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine how excited Dave would be if Ben Simmons started a game for the Kings? Oh my gosh. He would be in heaven.
At what cost?
I genuinely, he's been the like, hey, we should tear this thing down and start over guy. I think he would bend on that take just to have Ben Simmons start.
Well, he knows it would help get to that future.
I just think he will. I just think he's dug in on the Ben Simmons thing at this point.
Yeah, and shout out Mark Jones. I mean, you're hearing what you're hearing, but
I'm glad we're talking about it.
He is 6'10", though. He is 6'10".
Yes, and plays good defense.
He has played good defense in the past.
He has never had a season where he has been a below average defender.
He has never had a season where he's played more than 70 games.
That is possibly I was going to say that's not.
You weren't born when that happened.
Well, you know what's funny is I was instinctively going to say that's not true, and then I thought I don't actually know if that's not true. I doubted myself.
Look, I got it right here. Actually,
he has to have at least one.
Will Kyle have hit his growth spurt, okay, by the time Ben Simmons The last time he played 70. So let me see here. Oh no, I'm on Westbrook's page. Let me go to your boy. It's much shorter than Westbrook's page. Here we go.
He's got to.
The last time he played 70 games was 2018-2019. He played 79 games on the Sixers, and he was an all-star. How old were you in 2019?
I was a senior in high school. I was a literal senior in high school the last time Ben Simmons played 70 games in a season.
He only did it twice in his career. That first season, well, technically his second season. In 2018, he played 81 games. In 2019, he played 79. And then he had 2 more seasons where he almost got to 60. And after that,
man, Ben Simmons got MVP votes.
Yeah.
Let's see what other schmucks got MVP votes that year. Wow, Ben Simmons got more MVP votes than LeBron James in 2019. What a great stat. I love that.
So I'm out. I think it's pretty clear that I'm out, and Kyle is in for some odd reason on Ben Simmons. When we return, Juwan Jennings is disputing his contract. Also, a little bit of prop talk return for MLB All-Star. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, I'm Allen Stiles. Have an injury? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, an injury law firm, has many happy clients in Sacramento and the surrounding areas who have called Downtown. Get paid for your injuries from slip and falls or auto accidents. One of their most recent settlements was $1.5 million for a motorcycle accident. Have you had an auto accident? Call Downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222, and visit them at calldowntown.com.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests, Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Avriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo.
Sponsored by Tricks Racing Cage, Chicken Fingers, and Naturewood Home Furnishings. Tickets at catpfest.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
How far do you hit your 7-iron? The answers will tell you which tees to play, according to Josh Sens in Golf Magazine. Deep down, you know you shouldn't be playing from the tips, but it's common for golfers to play from too far back. Aside from higher scores, rounds become a grind and golf becomes much less fun. After several years of research, the USGA unveiled a new data-driven offering to find the proper tees called Best Tees. If you know how far you hit your 7-iron, Best Tees will tell you which tee boxes to play. A typical male golfer should be playing from 6,100 yards and a typical female golfer from 4,400 yards. Most players have a good idea of their 7-iron distance, with average male's distance of 138 yards and average female's of 100 yards. Throw out the occasional perfect shot, which travels more than those distances, and concentrate on your average. This will allow you to reach the vicinity of most greens in regulation and let you hit a variety of clubs on approach shots. Leave your ego at home and give it a chance. You'll have more fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Honda Summer Event and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. See all our specials at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m., 30 more minutes with you. It's been a fun one. Glad to be back in Sacramento. You know, I always get confused on this show. I know I've been doing it for a while now, but when it comes to bringing up places I like to eat, you know, using names, not using names, hey, you know, promoting stuff for free, but I like to talk about food. All right, that's what I do. And my mom is in town. She was helping out with Toddler Styles because we're real close to the due date here, right? For number 2, it's all fine and good.
Shh, Dave still doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Got to be careful, people. We're doing a great job.
He's on vacation.
I'm just letting the people know, okay?
Yes.
Don't tell Dave.
Don't tell Dave. We're so close. We are. Trust me, we are very close. So my mom is helping out. Was helping out my better half this weekend, and she's still in town. I got a meeting, but after the meeting, I'm thinking of surprising her. I've been trying to get her Dub Plate Kitchen. Dub Plate Kitchen to me is probably the best Jamaican that I've had in a really long time. Not just in Sacramento. I mean ever. So their jerk chicken is crazy. So I might surprise my mom with a little Dub Plate Kitchen before she heads back to the Bay Area. So go check it out if you're into that type of food. They were at Golden One. I think it was might have been African American Heritage Night or something like that. But they were in Golden One and they did a little pop-up. But some of the best jerk chicken and brown stewed chicken I have had. So I might be surprising my mom with that. And hopefully, if Prop Talk goes well, okay, I'll be able to not have to pay for it or pay for it with some winnings. Oh, yeah, I guess I'll tell the gaming for me, not great in Vegas. Gaming didn't go well.
Well, it's like you told Chris Watkins yesterday. You just hang around long enough and it evens itself out. So it wasn't that it didn't go great. You just didn't stay long enough.
Right. Gaming didn't go well. It was, my friends' numbers hit. They were there, just was a timing thing. Maybe this is what I'm talking about real quick. I'm getting a call right now from my dental office to remind me and they've sent me texts, emails. Kyle, guess when my appointment is. Today's the 15th.
We've done this before. I'm going to say it's tomorrow.
My appointment is July 22nd.
What?
And they're emailing me, calling me. What the hell?
A week out?
Yes.
I guess.
Enough.
I guess a week is a little bit much, but I'm guessing they probably have it automated in the system.
Well, they need to change it.
A day before, I think, is fair to know if you're going to show up or not.
Because all it does is freak me out and think, oh, shoot, it's today or tomorrow, and it's not in a week. I got a lot of stuff going on, man. I just got back from Vegas. So basically, it's set to a week. You're right.
Yes.
That's too long. You don't need to be calling me a week before my appointment.
They got to fill those appointments somewhere. You can't fill an appointment a day before for a dentist's office, so they got to know a week in advance, I guess. If you're going to cancel, you got to cancel now so that they can get someone else in the chair. But
you're not have to cancel.
But no, just say yes. Just reply yes to the text.
I literally am looking at an email.
Okay.
And a call. They sent me an email 3 hours ago.
Yeah, just that. If you had said yes to the email, they probably wouldn't have called.
I'm not just sitting here on my email. Ridiculous, man. Just get it together.
They just want to know if you're going to be there so they don't cancel.
Let's stop before we get into a conversation about, was it last time we had this conversation? People saying dentist office or scams, and so we are not supporting that part of it.
Yeah, we were just talking about Allen doesn't like the constant need, and the text line agreed with me that it's a courtesy to let them know so that they can fill the chair.
A week.
But then it turned into just people saying dentists or scams.
916-339-1140. New game just dropped before we are joined by Whitey Gleason. The game is, and it kind of has created itself organically on the text line, so let's just make it a thing. People are just giving random names that they would rather have at point guard than Ben Simmons. 916 says maybe they can re-sign Boogie Ellis. And another 916 says, I'd rather see Jimmer Fredette at point guard than Ben Simmons. So let's keep it going with the 30 minutes we have left. Who would you rather see at point guard for the Sacramento Kings than Ben Simmons if you needed somebody in 2025, 2026? That is the name of the game. As we talk about the MLB All-Star Game, we had Eric Martins on earlier in the show, third base coach for the A's. Brent Rooker got robbed. You know, he got robbed. It is what it is. It stinks. Of course, he got robbed by the big dumper who went on to win it, Cal Raleigh, and he's the biggest story. Everybody loves what he's doing. This is just what the Mariners do. The Mariners have a cute story for a year, 2 years, and then it just goes away. I think I'll randomly still see it was a special that ESPN did on Julio Rodriguez. It'll play at like 3 a.m. once every 4 months.
Okay.
And this is what the Mariners do. And Brent Rooker had to be on the wrong side of things. And I'm glad he was vocal because it's an all-star. Just let it go. I'm the type of person I would do the same thing.
Oh, he was so mad.
Why didn't we have this information?
Well, and the other controversy is he was told allegedly that the first 2 pitches didn't count. So he took them and only got 38 versus everyone else got 40 because someone apparently told him, oh, don't worry, you get 2 takes that don't count against your number, which was not true.
Yeah. So I don't know how they get that stuff wrong. And that's the thing. You're still giving away a car, and you know this is a real thing. This is what annoys me about when you put on something and everything isn't buttoned up, because then everybody goes back and says, well, slam dunk competition, right? Very similar. You're trying to sell it as a big deal. This is a historic award, so have your bleep buttoned up. Major League Baseball.
Whitey chuckled at that, by the way. But
I mean, Whitey's probably chuckling for a different reason, and we'll probably find out during.
What stinks is that they changed the rules this year, and it was the specific rule change that knocked Brent Rooker out. Because in past years, it was bracket, right? You would go against someone in the first round, and this year they changed it and decided the tiebreaker was longest distance. Which, by the way, the only reason they didn't do a swing off was just because ESPN didn't want to broadcast any longer. Yeah. They told them you can't just do tiebreaker after tiebreaker and keep this thing going for 3.5 hours.
Well, yeah, ESPN, they just didn't want anybody else to vomit from their camera angles that were just completely all over the place. And I've weirdly defended ESPN when it just feels like people are just bagging on them because it's a fun thing to do. But this one wasn't great. Well, this one wasn't great.
Good news, as it stands right now, ESPN is no longer broadcasting baseball after this year, so it's going to be on some other network next year. We have no idea where.
By the way, 2028 is going to be here before you know it. An SF Chronicle exclusive from Susan Slusser. San Francisco is the front runner for the 2028 All-Star Game if MLB players compete in Olympics, as appears increasingly likely, sources tell Susan Slusser. So that came out, could be coming to the Bay. That'd be a lot of fun, huh? Yeah, get on over here. Now that home run derby, that's for grown men. That home run derby.
They've done one before there, right? I think it was in the 2000s. 07, Whitey's got it. I think did Vladdy win it, Whitey? Was that what it was? Did Vladimir Guerrero's anyways, I think Vladimir Guerrero won it.
Grown man.
But
grown man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jazz Chisholm. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Woof. That was brutal. By the way, we got to go to break real quick, but I just want to bring this up because I forgot. A kid robbed a home run.
Yeah.
The kids in the outfield robbed a home run from Junior Caminero. One of them, like Denzel Clark-esque, went over the wall.
It counted.
It counted, but like, it's making me rethink how impressive Denzel Clark is if some 15-year-old can just steal a home run in the Derby.
Right, because are there any... Yeah, how many of those kids get drafted that are out there?
I feel like we would have heard of it by now, right? Every time that there's a Little League World Series kid that goes to the pros, they talk about it. I feel like if any of those kids...
This is him in the outfield 3 years ago.
Yeah, I feel like if one of those kids ever made the majors, we would have heard about it.
And you know what I say to that kid? Do less. It's not about you right now.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
I'm honestly impressed by the kid. Like, usually the only time those kids go viral is someone getting drilled in the head with a baseball.
Yeah.
This at least was impressive.
They've kind of swapped out who the requirements of who can be out there just for safety. When we return, it's never safe when Whitey Gleason and Allen Stiles get together. Crosstalk when we return. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal, you should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The San Francisco Giants are growing right here in Sacramento, California. Watch the future stars of Oracle Park take the field with the Sacramento River Cats right here at Sutter Health Park. From power hitters launching home runs to ace pitchers dominating the mound, don't miss your chance to experience the next generation of Giants baseball up close. It's exciting, affordable, family-friendly fun. Catch the Sacramento River Cats in action all season long. Get your baseball tickets today at rivercats.com.
People are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, from Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville, because they've seen for themselves the huge selection and the best prices at SacSuperstore.com. Good luck finding a lower price anywhere else. And if you do, they'll match it. It's as simple as that. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where a handshake still means something. Open until 10 o'clock and essentially located right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. And online at SacSuperstore.com. The guaranteed lowest price and the best selection of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeeps, and Rams. SacSuperstore.com.
Tune into Sacktown Sports this week for live coverage of the 153rd Open Championship from Royal Portrush. Brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sacktown Sports.
Whitey Gleason joins us. Whitey, I know you're normally not a prop talk guy, but you will indulge with us from time to time. You didn't get out to Vegas, so this is the closest you'll get. Okay, so we're going to do this prop talk real quick and then get to some cross talk with you about what's coming up on the show and your takeaways, who you would shut down at Summer League, because I'm shutting everybody down. I can shut everybody down right now. We've seen enough. Hey, thank you.
Oh, I thought you meant if you were playing them, you would defensively.
No, I would.
Like, wait, what?
No, I definitely would not. And since you're always getting to the, how should I say this? The jokes about
jokes.
Yes, the jokes about one's height or not height. Whitey, I don't know if you heard me yesterday.
I'm not the one who just played all the small things. That wasn't me.
But that's you doing it right now.
But I didn't. Okay.
Whitey was rough sledding out there.
Was it?
Rough sledding, Whitey. But, got to hold your head up high, man.
That's right.
I'm like, man, oh, man. We are cut from a different cloth.
Mm-hmm.
A different cloth.
All right. There have been a lot of really good NBA players who were very small.
Yeah.
Smaller than you.
But it's not even just the play. It's just everybody.
Yeah.
Because they're all associated with their family. Everybody.
Sure.
Even though you still got some tall tales to tell from Summer League,
I do. We
might have nothing to do with
We
that.
might have to do the Allen Stiles Show after dark.
Available on YouTube.
That's right. Available somewhere other than FCC.
There's just going to be a crying child in the background.
Yes, exactly. Kyle, let's get to some prop talk.
Prop talk? What?
What? Oh, I missed this music.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to go new music, new season.
I mean, this is just a great bed.
Okay, Whitey, Kyle, we have...
What do we got?
A couple different options here, a couple combos.
A lot you can prop talk for the MLB All-Star Game.
So,
because there's 50 players that play.
Boy, I had Matt Olson yesterday. I was way off.
Oh, yeah.
No, don't worry. I had
Yes.
I had James Woods, so me and you both.
Shohei Ohtani plus Freddie Freeman.
You had James Wood, right? James Wood's the guy who works here.
That's Jay Woods. James Woods is that actor that is problematic.
Yeah, it was James Wood was the guy you had.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
1.5 hits over under between Shohei and Freddie Freeman. That's one of the options. Aaron Judge and the Big Dumper, 1.5 hits over or under. Jacob Wilson over under 1.5 total bases. Jacob Wilson and Brent Rooker, 0.5 hits.
What'd you think of Brent Rooker's introduction yesterday from McAfee?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see it.
He said, he calls a minor league park his home, but he hits major league bombs. That was his introduction.
Did he say that?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, McAfee did intros for everyone.
I knew he did intros because I was flying back.
Yeah.
Did he say that?
He did. I kid you not.
Did he also say that for Caminero?
I don't know. He definitely said it.
Just copy and paste for both of them.
Yeah.
By the way, I had one more Rooker note because this is a very Allen Stiles thing that's happening now. Now it's 1:20. Okay, this is when Susan Slusser posted this.
Yeah.
Rooker tells me MLB clarified that he should have gotten more balls in his bucket during home run derby. He had time left and couldn't take more swings because he'd let two balls go by to start, and the bucket was empty.
Yeah.
It was rectified for other hitters. And here's the quote, I was the guinea pig. So they just thought nobody was going to take a pitch.
Right. I saw it when it happened. We were doing the show, but he took 2 pitches, and it was like confusing, and then they restarted the clock and the count. But, well, you can say 40, but he only has 38 in there, so, yeah.
Yeah, he did know the first round was decided by distance. It would have been nice to know he'd been eliminated a lot earlier had the full distances been provided rather than staying ready to advance.
You say you wanted to go home?
I mean,
he had to feed his kid.
Right. Not to mention, and he didn't, this is Slusser, that full transparency at the time avoids any possible accusations of manipulation in favor of one player or another. So this is the reason I say it's a very Allen Stiles thing is because I'm the type of person that you agree with me. It happens all the time with my wife. You agree with me on something, a grievance that I have, but then I just don't let it go. And I'm not saying he's doing this, but this is probably the last day we got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Probably the last day anything else should come out about it. And then we move. Because that's not me. I'm finding stuff, Whitey. I'm never letting it go. Okay. I'm just... Last notes, I would say, on it, but
I'll take the Ohtani and the Freeman.
All right.
Yeah.
Ohtani, Freeman, 1.5 hits. Allen, we're going to go rapid fire here, and we're going to mix in some would you rather this person or Benson.
No, I'm taking Jacob Wilson, Brent Rooker, 0.5 hits.
All right. So under on Jacob Wilson, 1.5 total bases?
No. I'll take the over.
You'll take the over on that. Next up, Whitey, would you rather have Ben Simmons or Bones Highland?
Is rickets an option? I'd rather have rickets or scurvy. I'd rather have Ben Simmons.
All right. Next up, Allen, more strikeouts, Paul Skeens or Tarek Skubal tonight? They're the 2 starters.
It's Skeens time.
But
it's Skubal's world. Give me Skubal, baby.
All right. 1.5 is the number, Whitey. Do you think Skubal or Skeens will get 2 strikeouts tonight?
No, because I don't think they'll pitch very long.
I would tend to agree with you. Next up, Allen, we have...
I bet they pitch 1.
2 strikeouts, all you need.
Yeah, I know.
Next up, Allen, would you rather have Ben Simmons or Jalen Hood-Schifino?
Jalen Hood-Schifino, baby.
I'll take Ben Simmons over him.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
No, you would not.
But I would still take scurvy over either one of them.
All right, Whitey, we've got Gleyber Torres, half a hit tonight. Do you think Gleyber Torres is going to get on base?
No.
Allen, do you think that would you rather have Monte Morris or Ben Simmons?
Jalen Hood-Schifino is only 22. Give me Jalen Hood. He's 6'6".
You just want Jalen Hood-Schifino now.
Now we're starting this. Give me Hood-Schifino. Who is it? Which Morris is
Monte.
that?
Monte.
The Iowa State one.
Yes, so I don't have to watch them on First Take anymore.
Okay, that's not that Morris.
They're both.
Yeah.
Monte's the point guard one,
Right.
not related to them.
Him too. I'll take him too.
This is going great. Whitey, Mac McClung or Ben Simmons?
Ben Simmons.
All right, Allen, big dumper, 1.5 total bases tonight.
No, too much hype. I would actually go under on Big Dumpy.
is that what
Did you
we're
hear
calling?
what McAfee said about him in the introduction?
No.
Yeah. He's got the fattest ass in baseball.
Yeah.
A lot of people were very upset.
Were they actually?
Yes. People around the country. My kid was watching.
Did they really do the thing? They did the my kid was watching thing, huh?
No.
Somebody did. I saw that somewhere. Somebody had that comment.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
McAfee was gone the next day. Anyways, 2 more. Whitey, Manny Machado, 1.5 total bases tonight.
Yes, over, and I'd rather have him than Ben Simmons.
Okay, excellent. And then Allen, to wrap it up, would you rather have Ben Simmons or Patty Mills?
The Australian St. Mary's alum.
You know they're both Australian.
Ben Simmons is also Australian.
The older Australian St. Mary's alum, built from a champion. Give me Patty, baby.
All right, this has been
There's your backup point guard.
Yeah.
This has been the triumphant return of Prop Talk
Yay!
mixed in with Would You Rather, Ben Simmons or this point guard?
Give me Jalen Hood Shafino. Do it now. He's 6'6". He's 22. Has not tapped in to his potential. Thanks for listening to the Allen Stiles Show. Great job, Kyle, as always. Thank you to Eric Martins and his conversation that we had. Go check that out as we talked about the Brent Rooker stuff, obviously, as well as Jacob Wilson, the first Whitey, first All-Star starter since Josh Donaldson for the A's. Nick Kurtz right behind him for Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, neck and neck. First All-Star starter for the A's at shortstop since Campy Campaneris in 1975. I'm Ken Korak.
You did? That was pretty good. What's coming up on the show today, Whitey?
Among other things, we're going to look at this forward, this wing, who all of a sudden is available, and see if the Kings should have any interest in Josh Okogie.
Oh, that's right. Okogie.
Okogie or Ben Simmons, Allen?
He can handle the rock. These are the 3 things when you talk about basketball, Whitey. Can you handle the rock? Can you defend the rock? And can you shoot the rock? It's that simple.
Also, we're going to talk about how Sacramento, in a way, was approved by Major League Baseball to host postseason games. If the A's get
wow.
that. In a way.
I was in Vegas.
In a way.
I missed that, so I definitely am locked in to the drive, guys. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson. Draper's going to be screaming in the media room again.
Uh-huh.
I heard every segment. Everybody did. Everybody did. Shout out to Sacktown Sports. Until tomorrow, secure the bag. Like the beat.
Don't forget about my podcast.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant,